Afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to Friday's podcast. The world's gone insane. Let's talk about it. Joining me are Jose and Capitalism Clause. Welcome. I think this is your first time here. Nice to have you. Speak and see if we can hear you. No,
Nope.
can't hear you.
Nope. Can't
Let me
hear him.
make sure I haven't got you muted. Well, whilst you sort that out, Zam unfortunately can't be with us tonight. What happened was the IDF, the Israeli Air Force, struck him, and they found a massive tunnel inside Zam, and it led to all sorts of nightmares. And so, unfortunately for that, he's dead and won't be with us. But we wish him and his big brown tunnel all the best as the IDF buries itself in there and finds all sorts of weapons of mass destruction. Okay, on that note, let's bring him back in.
Adam Akbar, motherfuckers. You can't keep a good brown down. You know what I mean? Yeah, baby.
How did it feel having the IDF in you?
Oh man, it felt liberating.
All right,
Yeah,
Klaus, can we hear you now? Let's see.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah,
there
yeah,
it
we
is.
can hear you.
Yeah, there we
It
go.
says-
Oh, perfect.
All right.
All right,
No
lovely.
echo.
Lovely, lovely.
No, you're
No
good, dude.
echo.
No echo.
You're
Good. And the good thing with our podcast is we don't piss about with small talk. We just get straight into it, and that's what we're going to do. We're starting with film and TV because there's a lot of shit to talk about, and then we'll move into gaming, and then we'll finish off with politics because William will
So-
be joining us later.
So if you don't mind, I would like to get this thing off my chest straight away because
Yeah, go for it, bro.
I've been watching Invincible season 2, and it's been great. I've been watching every episode every Friday religiously. It's only 8 episodes in this season. We're on episode 4, and lo and behold, we have a fucking mid-season break, and this shit won't be back until fucking early 2024, which is pissing me off because there's only 8 fucking episodes and you're giving us a mid-season break.
I
What
hate when
the
they do
fuck?
that shit. Why do they do that
What
shit?
the look, mid-season break for me are so fucking stupid because the final season of Breaking Bad was a mid-season break, and the second half of season 5 didn't come out till next year. It might as well have been fucking season 6.
Yeah.
You know when you know what I mean? But yeah, only 4 episodes in. You know, it's getting really juicy now, and I want to fucking see the next episode, but no, I'm gonna have to wait till maybe March 2024.
What
That
the
long?
fuck?
That's yeah, possibly. That's what the rumors are, because nobody knows when the fucking show's gonna be coming back. You can't be giving us an 8-episode series with a mid-season break of that fucking long. And look, I've been enjoying. I love this show. I'm a big fan of it. You know, it has an old school, new school vibe about it, which is fantastic. You know, the animation style is very old school, but at the same time, what it brings to the table is quite new school, and it's a different take on superheroes. It's really good. It's really fucking good. But this is really fucking stupid. You can't be giving us a mid-season break on an 8-episode long series. It's just ridiculous. It really is. I'm pissed off beyond fucking belief. I don't know what
Yeah,
you
I've
guys
just
think.
googled it. There's no real reason for it. They're just saying it's a narrative decision that adds impact and allows for a pause to digest a story. The hiatus will coincide with a busy holiday season, ensuring the show doesn't get lost in the shuffle and making the subsequent episodes hit harder. What a load of bollocks!
You've got nothing.
What a load
That's
of
essentially what they're
bollocks.
saying. They're like, all right, we're
Bollocks.
just
Yeah.
we're just killing time until
I'd rather look. If that's the case, I would have rather they brought this shit out in January.
yeah.
If that was the case, you know, because then that way, because you know, I want to be able to digest this whole fucking thing, you know, within 2 months,
Mm.
and now I'm going to have to wait several other months to then digest another month's worth of fucking content.
And then you got to go
It's-
back and
it's so
rewatch
fucking
all the
stupid.
shit. Then you got to go back and rewatch all the shit you just saw, just so your memory can retain all that. Because you're like, all right, I saw the first 4 episodes. Now I got to rewatch the shit because it's going to take a while to get it back. And then there you go. So yeah, it makes no sense.
The mid-season break, in my opinion, is always a really stupid idea. Some
Mhm.
people rumors are that the series haven't finished doing all the animation for it, which is one of the reasons why they're doing it. Allegedly, these are just rumors, so I'm not 100% sure. But still, look, when you bring out a season, you give us the season. Don't give us these mid-season breaks. This is the most stupidest concept in fucking television. When the show ends, that's the break.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's not in the fucking middle of the fucking season. Oh God, I hate this shit, man. It's like this trend
for streaming platforms. It just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense.
Stupidest fucking trend.
Yeah, Klaus, your thoughts?
I didn't. What else? Other shows are doing this? Because, like you said, once they do
this is the first I've heard of it.
Well, yeah, but Breaking Bad's done it, and I think Star Trek's done it. Discovery did it for a bit, for a few weeks. Like, unfortunately, sometimes when they bring out shows at the end of the year and Christmas is obviously on the horizon, the show makers believe when it comes to streaming services shows, it's not shit that's scheduled to come out on telly at a particular time. Streaming services show, they feel that they have to bring out the other half of the show after Christmas and New Year, which is so fucking stupid. You know,
yeah. No, everyone's at home. Watching this shit in their own time. The holidays.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's not like people have to devote the day of viewing to watch the show. Mm-hmm. You know, they can catch up the next day after, week after.
Yeah, there's no reason to watch. Yeah, there's no reason to watch live anymore. I mean, that's how TV is now. You can always catch the next day. There's literally no reason to go out of your way to watch live.
This is an Amazon Prime, for fuck's sake. Like, you know, like, excuse me, like, yeah, you watch it whenever you want, and when people are at home, they're gonna watch it. No one's gonna be watching reruns of fucking Die Hard all the time. As much as people love that shit, you know, if there's something newer to watch, regardless of it being fucking Christmas, you're not going to be watching necessarily festive shit all the time. You want to watch stuff that, you know, you've been following religiously, and Christmas or not, you're still going to fucking watch it. Mm-hmm. So I don't get it.
Yeah, festive shit just ain't as good as it used to be. Like, if you watch, if nobody else participates, I might do it on my own top 10 like favorite Christmas episodes. If you see the classics that I talk about, compared to what we get now, we don't get anything like that now. I mean, it's just
nope.
I'll give you I mean, if you look at the state of like TV or just comedy in general, like Frasier 2023 is a prime example of that. So I've watched like the 7 episodes in. I'm gonna endure it because it's only 10 episodes, but the writing is awful compared to the spin-off, the original spin-off. The actors they've got are so bad, like cartoonishly awful. They are archetypal late 90s to 2000s sitcom characters that are just like not even pantomime good. You know what I mean? They're just really bad. Their delivery's bad.
Is it like just stuck there? Is it like not evolved? Is that basically what it is? Like it's like we're stuck.
Well, no, it's regressed. It's regressed. Okay. Look, I binge watched recently because I I've got the box set of Frasier, but I've downloaded it as well, and I rewatched it. Just finished watching it at the beginning of this week, and the quality of writing, and even as a 90s sitcom, it still stands the test of time. This one feels like not just a bad regression, but it feels like generic Disney Channel like sitcoms, like
okay. If you're talking like sitcoms, okay, if you're talking like modern Disney, I get you, because in the 90s Disney was still good, but yeah, if you're talking like modern
2000s Disney, which was really bad, like
okay,
you know, I'm talking about just clownish acting, over the top acting, or just actors that aren't good at doing comedy. They might be good at other things,
like Postboy Meets World, because that was right around the time that Disney started falling off. Was right around the time Boy Meets World ended.
Yeah,
which was early 2000s.
I'm talking in the 2000s here when sitcoms just really bad.
Yeah,
because the level of Klaus, sorry, what can I say?
Oh, that was my cat.
Oh,
right.
It was making noise.
Hi, kitty.
Yeah. No, so it's just like the two standouts are clearly like Frasier's good, but he's still not as well written as it was in the previous sitcom. But Nicholas Lyndhurst, again, showing his comedic chops, who's a British staple. Like, he's a legend in British sitcoms.
Yeah, he did not only Fools and Horses, he did that that wartime one. Well, I forgot what it was
Good
called.
Night, Sweetheart.
Yeah, Goodnight Sweetheart, which was
Great
a really
sitcom.
clever concept. By the way, if we're talking nostalgic shit, I've been hearing that Simpsons is good again, and people should watch. Yeah, people should watch season 33
If
and
they got
34, which is
if
kind
they
of
got
remarkable.
if they got
Yeah.
Conan back, I'd go out of my way to watch it because he was the best writer they ever had.
They got some of the old people, or the old creators back, but apparently season 33 and season 34.
I'll give it season 33. No,
I'll give it a look. Okay, I'll give it a look. I'll watch a couple episodes, see how it goes. Because
I'll watch season 34 if it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, because to me, 7, 8, and 9 are the best seasons of The Simpsons when Conan was writing for them. Those scripts were unbeatable back when they had Conan O'Brien writing for The Simpsons.
Yeah.
But everything post season 9 has not been the same to me.
Yeah. The Simpsons have fallen off since 2000 as well. They haven't been consistently good.
Yep.
Yeah. It's when they just made Homer really stupid that it kind of falls off. Like,
speaking of film and TV and Family Guy or Simpsons, did y'all hear Family Guy is moving to Family Guy is no longer going to be a Sunday night primetime show. They're now moving to Wednesdays. I kind of find that a little interesting that they're going to do that. I'm like, they're moving to Wednesdays. They're getting off of Sunday primetime.
Is that when it used to be on Sundays?
The style doesn't burn so brightly anymore. You know, that's basically how it is. And regarding Homer, you would think with all the fucking experiences that he's had after, that he would not be so fucking stupid. The guy's been to space and shit. You know what I mean? But no, he's still a fucking idiot. It's crazy.
Yeah, they just made him stupider. They just like that was the complaints that were coming from the old show creators. They were like, I left the show because the studio wanted to just make him dumber. And just like focus too much on him. And I'm like, the biggest mistake they ever made with The Simpsons was sticking with The Simpsons. And they should have moved on, turned it to Springfield, and just focused on the whole town because there's way better characters.
Yeah, and now they're doing this thing where they're like, they're not going to have Homer choke Bart anymore. They're like, yeah, we're getting away from that. I'm like, what? That's one.
No. That was a joke.
Oh, okay.
That was a joke. And unfortunately, a lot of people who are Phantom Menace ilk, they call that shit woke and stuff like that. But they were the people who were getting the shit piss taken out of them. And the reality is, honestly, like having issues over a father choking his son all the fucking time, to a degree, it's good. It would be good if they moved on from that. But the fact that they didn't and they were pulling the wool over people's eyes, either way, it is. I'm fine with it.
That's a good job. I said when they first announced it, I was like, I don't care.
You don't really care because The Simpsons, I think, stayed on 20 years too long. If it would have ended with the movie back then, like 15 years ago, I would have said, okay, cool, end it with the movie. And then do the spinoff. Make it Springfield. Don't make The Simpsons the focal characters.
Yeah, just do Springfield, you know. And the thing is like you don't have Apu, and Carl just sounds ridiculous. And
comic book guy, I want more episodes with him, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, if they were to focus more on comic book guy. Yep.
Oh my god.
It's great. Like I would have loved it.
And that doctor, that Latin doctor who's like a crook. Oh man,
Nick
oh god, stuff like that, and
Chief Wiggum and his lot, Lou and Carl.
I miss Troy McClure. I'm just gonna go out of the way to say it. I miss Troy McClure.
Yeah.
Did they get a reunion
What's that, Klaus?
Oh, I was like, didn't they have a renewal? Like they're on for another few years, right?
Yeah, they renewed for like another few seasons. Which at this point, I'm like, okay, just scrap it. Just get it out of the way. I also hate that.
There are people out there that still watch it religiously. Same with like Family Guy and all that shit, and it's just like.
I could also honestly say at this point, same thing with South Park. I'm sorry. I love South Park. It's one of the greatest shows of all time, but I'm like, part of me just hopes Matt and Trey just come to that point of like, okay, we've been there. We've done that. Let's move on. We've made enough money with South Park, but the question is, how do you end South Park? What can you do?
I mean,
it's true, but South Park's not as sad as The Simpsons. Yeah.
South Park is the same thing, though, isn't it? Like, make it South Park and not the fucking boys all the time.
Yeah,
some of the best episodes, Randy episodes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. See, they went down the same rabbit hole that all the other shows are. Is they basically Homer Simpson's Randy Marsh, and too much of the show focus on Randy Marsh, and I hate that. I hate that with a passion. Like they got rid of Officer Brady, who was awesome. Obviously, the death of Chef Isaac Hayes, and he left anyway.
Big Gay Al we needed more of, and the Shitty Wok character was actually a white dude, which was hilarious when they did that. You know, do you know about that? The shit, you know, like this is Shitty Wok. You know what I mean? And
they got rid of the shitty
he's
guy.
Actually a white. He's actually a white dude.
Yep.
You know, who's in disguise, but he believes he's Chinese.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a psychologist. That was a great episode.
I think I know how you have to end it. You have to end it with Cartman actually giving a fuck about Kyle. You have to have Cartman turn over a new leaf.
Yeah, but he has on the other occasion, like when he rescued him.
No, Cartman has to pull a 180 completely and be like, you know what? I'm gonna be actually nice to Jewish people. And that's how I think you end the series, is with Cartman turning over a new leaf and embracing Jewish
becomes
people.
Nice, and everyone's like, "What is going on?"
Yep, and that's how
Cartman goes woke.
Yeah, Cartman goes woke. That would be the hell
that would be good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a nice trip down memory lane.
It was funny regarding the people who had issues with the Panda universe, and the only person who had a real issue with all of that was Cartman, and at the same time, Cartman was a reflection of the fucking fandom menace, who believes he was and they had no idea. And if they look within themselves, they'll realize that your representation within that show is fucking Eric Cartman, a fascist little cunt, so.
The funniest fucking thing about the episode had nothing to do with the episode. It was the fact that Kathleen Kennedy got pissed off for real. She saw it and she was like, "What the fuck? Why are they doing this to me?" It's like, I don't know if you realize this, but South Park gets everybody. Nobody's exempt. They get everybody.
Did she actually react to it?
Yep, she reacted to it and she got pissed.
Is that true, or did somebody make that up though? That's the thing.
I've seen multiple comments of people saying, that the real Kathleen Kennedy saw it, and I would give anything.
To Google it to double check, because I don't.
She needs to be honored by that.
The internet is like minus.
But the fact that they took a shit on Disney and the multiverse is probably the funniest damn thing, because they're like, multiverses is stupid. Yet this is not the first time South Park has done multiversal shit. It's not the first time they've done it. It's not the last time they're going to do it. They will revisit the multiverse again.
And the funny thing is, Kathleen Kennedy, the representation of Star Wars, and they don't do multiverse.
Nope.
No. So. Yeah. But we can transition on to David Filoni from there, seeing as we're talking about Kathleen Kennedy. He's been promoted to Chief Creative Officer within Lucasfilms, and so expect the fan service to quadruple in everything they make moving forward, because that's all Filoni does. And it doesn't really mean anything, because he still has to answer to Kennedy, and it's just they're just going to butt heads and clash. And at the end of the day, I don't know. Like, it doesn't mean anything to me. I don't even like Dave Filoni, to be honest. What are your guys' thoughts?
Somebody's got to go. Somebody has to go, and it's not going to be Kathleen Kennedy. That's how this is going to end. Kathleen Kennedy will have too much staying power, and it's got to be her way. It has to be the way she wants it to be. It shouldn't be that way. It should be Star Wars should be the greatest service for the fans, but it's ultimately just going to lead to, just like how the MCU is doing, a whole lot of bullshit that'll ultimately lead to either something really good or something really bad.
It's already there. It's been there since its inception, since they put that idiot in charge. And the problem is she doesn't have a creative mind, so it's the wrong person to kind of put there. If it was me right now, I'd just put Tony Gilroy there, who's the guy who did Andor. I'd put him in charge, because he has a no bullshit attitude. He's like, I don't care about the woke stuff. I don't care about this. I'm just telling a fucking story, and that's what I'm saying. I don't care about fan service. I just want to tell a story. And
you can get away with fan service shit like once every few episodes, like once a while in a TV series and maybe once every few movies, but when you do it way too much, it's like, okay, you've
Literally,
overloaded
every
shit with fan
episode.
service. Yeah.
Filoni, every episode of Ahsoka had some bullshit fan service that just took away from the show, and it was frustrating as hell.
Do you think that sometimes people see fan service in everything they see? Like, oh look, there's this, there's that, there's this. I mean, like the thing with Star Wars that some things are going to come back again, and they're just a representation of the overall universe. But because you might have seen it in the original trilogy, people assume that if you see it in this, it's fan service.
No, there's a difference. If it plays part into the story, then fine. But like C-3PO showing up to do his thing, like, well, that was just fan service. It was just ridiculous. Like, you could have had a hologram of somebody just broadcasting saying, "Hey, this has come from top brass." But you know, it's stupid shit like that that just frustrates me with Filoni, because it's just like now you just expect it every episode. You're like, "Oh god, okay, let's see what he's going to do in this one," and it takes away from the story. Whereas Andor did no fan service at all, and people fucking cream their knickers over it. So, Klaus, your thoughts?
No, they just need to go back to telling like good stories, and they don't need to be like, "Oh, look at this in your face. Don't you remember this nostalgia?" Like they just need to be more, I guess, thoughtful of what they're doing instead of just like, "All right, how can we get everyone satisfied?" You know, just make something good.
Yeah.
Don't worry about nitpicking and getting all the hardcore fans.
Yeah, absolutely. Vance, welcome to the stream.
The fan service that keeps giving. Look, they're very, very likely. If I ever had a midday nap, then I'm probably likely to fall asleep during the stream.
Yeah.
But recently, I've been doing okay. But you never know.
Damn it, that's what we want. We want you to go to sleep. Go to sleep during the stream. And if you don't,
I'll need a GTS.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, GTS. So with obviously, Daisy Ridley's also been speaking about the film that they're working on with her, which I think it's not Jedi Order.
Yeah, it is a sequel to Episode 9, which in a way is what I want if you're going to go that direction. I'm kind of done. I get like a bit fed up with like different periods of like the current 9 movie trilogy arc. I want to either go forward or I want to go way back, like Old Republic era, if they do that. But I'm happy for them to go forward and then probably create the ideology that was in the legendary books now of a Jedi Order that people really want to see in this universe. They really want to see a proper Jedi Order post Palpatine.
Yeah, I mean, it moves 15 years into the future, so that's good. So we don't have to deal with bollocks.
I want to see Boyega as a Jedi. I want to see him as a Jedi.
Shit, yeah, whether Thingy will come back is another story.
I think he will. I think he will.
Yeah, they dropped that. Remember? They tried to act like he was a Jedi, and then. Well, remember they tried to make him force sensitive, and then they dropped it the next 2 movies. So
my God, the concept of a stormtrooper turned Jedi Knight would have been so fucking good, man. And the fact that they dropped that, and didn't go that direction.
But you're not going to get that. Why? Because fuck you. That's why we care about what we want and not what the fans want.
It could have been such an interesting love triangle.
Money, damn it.
With Ben Solo just
becoming a Poe Dameron movie. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want a Poe Dameron series. How's that for compromise? Maybe with Rogue Squadron, a little bit of a mix up there. That'll be pretty cool.
Hey, if they make it good, anyone will be in. As long as it just moves forward now, not backwards. So I don't want a Poe Dameron film taking part between, say, episodes 8 and 9 or some stupid shit like that. It's just
the moral of the story that we're trying to convey is step up with the writing. And this goes for everybody. I don't give a fuck if it's Star Wars, Marvel, Hollywood, anything. Step up with the writing, people. Come on. Make good stories.
Yeah. And the thing is as well, I'm very fearful. Like Doctor Who returns tomorrow. And I'm coming back to it because Russell T. Davies. I didn't like Stephen Moffat, and our mage wants to fight me on that, but suck it. It's not like I don't like Stephen Moffat's writing. He's done some good shit. I just didn't like his Doctor Who stuff. But but he's coming back. But the problem is Disney now has a hand in Doctor Who. They're like own part of it, and if it becomes Disneyfied, I'm done. That's it. I'm like,
don't be
fuck it.
surprised. That's all I could say. Don't be
Disney are a
shocked.
creative cancer. They're just cancer
Yep.
on creativity. They just want everything the same, and it pisses me off. So, yeah, I'm really worried. But as long as Russell T Davies gets all the say in it, then it should be awesome. So I can't wait for tomorrow. I'll speak to people later if anyone wants to do a live stream on the tomorrow Sunday reviewing the return. But Cheetah, I'm okay as long as the Andor writers do it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I mean. Get Gilroy in. Let him do everything. He's awesome. And Gareth Edwards as well. Let him come back. Yeah. Are you joining us, Cheetah? Why don't you jump on the stream? What are you doing?
Yeah,
I'm trying to get Christine on as well. She's having some issues.
He says he's not going to make it till 6 his time, and I don't know what time it is right now where he is.
Oh, that's 11 o'clock. That'll be
5:25.
Oh, that's fine. Well, you can always come back to the subjects later. Anything he wants to talk about. Okay, so moving on from Dave Filoni and Star Wars, Nicholas Hoult has been cast as Lex Luthor in Superman Legacy.
Okay.
Good actor.
Yeah.
Very, very good actor. So it's not the worst casting. I'll say this as well about James Gunn, and I love this. And you can tell there's no pressure coming from the studio. Everyone is cast so far are a carbon copy of their kind of comic book characters. So even Jimmy Olsen, all this kind of stuff. If you look at the actor that's playing him, he looks like Jimmy Olsen from the comic books.
Okay, so they're going for accuracy this time around.
They're going for comic book accuracy. That's all I want in life. I don't know.
You know what the funny thing is? The funny thing is like I always look back at some of the best adaptations of these characters, and they all seem to be animated. I mentioned, or everyone goes on about Kevin Conroy being the best Batman. Clancy Brown, without doubt, is the best Lex Luthor.
Mr. Krabs.
And the funny thing is, if you look at that Lex Luthor in the cartoons in the animated series, is he black? Because I can't fucking tell.
Yeah, I've never figured that out myself. I'm like, he's always looked black. Yeah.
Yeah. But regardless, that's the best adaptation of Lex Luthor. Not this craziness. As much as I love Gene Hackman, all these some of these other adaptations of Lex Luthor, it's like an incompetent Joker, to a degree. I want my Lex Luthor to be a very cold, conniving motherfucker, and I'm hoping that we can get that with Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, for me, the best Lex Luthor will always be Michael Rosenbaum, Rosenberg.
From
Smallville. Yeah, brilliant. I loved his Lex Luthor, and you could tell because when you hear him talk, because I follow his channel, he does a great podcast when he interviews other actors. Yeah, and you could tell he was like, I didn't want to turn my character into a fucking joke. I wanted to make sure that I had some kind of creative control and all this kind of stuff. So he was great. The thing with the Batman the animated series is every character in that was great. Every character.
Yeah, but that Lex Luthor, unfortunately, was a young
Lex Luthor. Joker.
But that Lex Luthor was a young Lex Luthor. Like, we never saw that Lex Luthor going up against Superman. And I always thought to myself, if him and Superman were fucking childhood friends, then how would they ever be able to interact as adults? It would be really fucking stupid, but he'll be able to oust him as Clark Kent immediately. I'll tell you, as a Lex Luthor I liked, actually, was John Crye's Lex Luthor from Supergirl. I thought he did a really good job, in my opinion, and seeing somebody like him. I never
watched Lex Luthor, so I can't comment. But
seeing somebody like him who's always playing a sort of comical, dweeby, nerdy character, and then playing like a supervillain, fair place.
Yeah, great. No, great. I mean, John Cryer is a fantastic actor.
All they need to do with this Lex Luthor is just make him sinister. I don't want the comedic Lex Luthor. I'm like, no, I want him to be cold, conniving, and cunning, and just be a ruthless son of a bitch.
A proper corporate fucking bastard.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And Hoult has the acting chops to kind of pull it off. So I'm interested to see what he does. It's not
he could do anything. He's at anything. You can give him any role, he'll do it. I mean, the guy could play Superman. He could play Lex Luthor. He could do both. I mean, he's got that look about him. So
yeah. absolutely. So yeah, watch this space. Ridley Scott, still doing a great job of showing what a complete wanker he is. He has been hitting out at
Hello.
the critics or historians for pointing out how inaccurate a lot of parts of Napoleon is, and his response, "Hey Jim," his response was so fucking childish. He's like, "You weren't there. You don't know what really happened." It's just like, dude, you're 83 years old. Act like it. So acting like a petulant child.
If he was going to be 83, he'd be like, back in my day, we did this thing over there. And then when I was 7, I got a wagon. When I was 8, my parents got divorced.
Yeah. But do that with a Geordie accent, and that's Ridley Scott. But he just, like, he shit on superhero films the other day. And this coming from the guy who gave us the 2 Prometheus films. And when you make those abominations and Kingdom of Heaven, you've got no fucking leg to stand on. I'm sorry.
You have no room to talk.
No room to talk.
Film, there's nothing that triggers me more in movies than that people say certain films don't exist. Oh, like Indiana Jones 4 doesn't exist and this doesn't exist. For me, Alien Covenant, more than Prometheus, Alien Covenant doesn't exist because what it's done to the lore of Alien and aliens is, I hate it so fucking much. When you watch the first Alien movie and you see the engineer there with his corpse with the hole in there and the mystery of it and all of that, it's like it leaves you wondering. And then Ridley Scott decides to reveal it the way that it was all created by David, the fucking android. Oh God, I hate it so much.
No,
How dare you do?
Both those films don't exist to me. And if I was Disney, I'd get rid of that lore completely. Ignore it, redo it, ignore it, move forward, whatever. Yeah, I fucking can't. And you just don't have a leg to stand on when you make such abominations. And he has a history of just being historically like Gladiator did a slightly better job with historical accuracy, but there was still a lot of different glaring things, especially about the barbarians and all this kind of stuff. Kingdom of Heaven is a complete fucking abomination. And Napoleon, I'll say, as soon as I found out he was doing Napoleon, I was like, oh, I can't wait to see what inaccuracies he has in this and that. But yeah, it just sounds like a whiny little bitch. He'll always be in the shadow of his far superior brother, Tony Scott, who just made great films.
He's trying to play the victim. I'm like looking at a list of movies he made. All right, he had Alien, Blade Runner, and then Gladiator, Black Hawk Down maybe. But like all his other movies don't stand out to me. So I don't know why he's saying, come on, guys, stop making superhero movies. I want to get a movie that people will come watch. Well, then make a good movie. And
make
people
a good
will come
movie
watch
then,
it.
motherfucker. Yeah, we'll go see it.
Yeah, make a good fucking, you can't lie on your past laurels. You know what I mean? And he's not, like, apart from Alien and Matchstick Men, I'm just not a big fan of his films. I'm not a fan of his style. He bores me to tears, and tonally stuff is all over the place. That's a personal preference. I always preferred his brother Tony Scott.
Oh, look, he's no
Black Rain was
directors.
Black Rain was a good one as well.
He's no different to a lot of directors that they start off good and they end up becoming shit. And many directors are like that. He's no different, and that's unfortunate. Yes. But
Spielberg has lost his way. Scorsese is the only one that's been consistent to me.
George Lucas, what's his face?
Well,
the guy who made the guy who made the Godfather films. Oh God, what's his name?
Francis Ford Coppola. Yeah.
Like Eyes Wide Shut is a big pile of fucking shit, and anyone who likes it is only fanboying for Coppola and nothing more. It's fucking Red Shoe Diaries with fucking a budget. It's bollocks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of the Martian was a superhero movie, just better or more in reality. I have no idea what The Martian. Oh, that's the Matt Damon film.
Was that Ridley Scott?
I don't know.
I didn't mind that movie. It was okay.
Let's have a look. Search with
It was okay though. I mean, that's all.
Oh yeah, Ridley Scott. Oh, no wonder I didn't watch it. Yeah, I'm not a fan of his at all, and it just cracks me up when he bitches and moans like old man yells out cloud, just like Scorsese. At least Scorsese can back it up with good work.
Yeah.
In the modern era of cinema. I mean, Yo. Hello. And now we've lost Jose. God damn it, Gary.
Of course. Yep. Of course. That always happens every time.
And class.
Yeah.
Oh, he's frozen too? Shit. Okay. At least now I don't feel so bad.
Well, as long as we can hear you lot, it's all good. Guys, your thoughts on Ridley Scott?
I blame Ridley Scott.
Yeah. I blame Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
My thoughts on what, sorry?
Ridley Scott and his comments.
I understand where it's coming from, but I think it's misplaced.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. So what I've got you here, before we move on to other stuff, Zam's already talked about the Invincible, and I finished watching Scott Pilgrim. I finished it today. It was a slog. Scott Pilgrim takes off. So if you haven't watched it, no spoilers, obviously. It's a bit of a different take on the original comic book run. Ignore the film. The film was fantastic, but in the comic book series, it takes a different twist to what it does in the comic book. So it's and it doesn't follow Scott Pilgrim. It kind of follows everyone else in it. That's not a spoiler. That's just what happens. And I wanted to like this because it had some good bits in it, but overall, it's just boring for the most part. The characters all blend in together, and it loses its way, and then it just towards the end it gets really fucking silly. Gav, your thoughts?
I'm mixed on it because there's some bits that are really, really good. Like I love Chris Evans as that. Got a skateboard.
Yeah, it was a standout.
Brandon Routh for me.
I also loved how is it Jason? No, it's not Jason Bateman.
Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah, Jason Schwartzman as because the bad guy and then he gets demoted. I love that kind of thing. But there's some stuff that I just hated. Like I hate the fact that Will 40 is like the older version of him. Sorry, no spoilers. But like it's just
don't talk spoilers, man.
No, I won't. But as I said, it was very mixed for me, and it's just like, but it was good to see the actors from the film reprise their role. That was the bit I really liked. But I thought you would actually despise it, to be honest with you. There's a lot of massive Masters of the Universe revelation about this.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like the concept's good, but the execution was just
poor.
It was just poor. And but for me, yeah, Chris Evans was a standout. Brandon Routh was really good in it as well. But the rest, they were just, and a lot of them kind of mixed together. I just kept losing track who was who, and so I was just like, just watch it to get over with it. And then I like the certain thing that as to why what happened, but then it just got really silly after that, and it's just like, okay, let's just end this. Check out Blue Eye Samurai on Netflix. Wonderful series. Oh, okay, I'll have a look. Unless if it's anime, then I'll probably give it a miss because anime again, it just doesn't stick right with me.
Yeah, it doesn't hit like it did in the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah, like anime or manga as we called it over here in the UK. Yeah. It was great back in the day, but these days it's just because it hasn't evolved in the sense that everything kind of follows a very similar pattern. That's the thing with Japanese stuff. Everything's very much just stays the same. So it's like no point in watching the same kind of journey that the hero makes in everything. It's always the kind of same. And it's just like, but with a slower pace compared to like Western stuff. So it's like, I can't. I try, but I just
Blue Eye Samurai on Netflix.
Yeah, I've add that to the list, so I'll definitely watch that. check it out.
I've been watching something on Netflix that I think is pretty decent, though has some just seems like sort of like bad elements to it, called Bodies. So basically what it is that like there's like different time periods, and this same body turns up 4 different time periods in history. It's like one in the 1800s, one in the when the Second World War is going on. The next one is in the 1990s. Well, actually, like nowish, and then there was in the future. So,
yeah. I mean, the concept looks interesting. How is the show? I tried starting on it, but I have to go back to it.
It's pretty decent. I mean, Stephen Green's really good at it, but I don't know. I mean, I like the concept behind it. It's just really weird. It's like but sometimes it can be a bit lulling a little bit. Like they're not really following the plot as well as they could do, which is a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But apart from that, it's really good. I like it.
All right.
It's general stuff which I like. So.
I'll tell you what's been surprisingly good. I need to just finish it. I think I've only got 1 episode or 2 episodes left. Culprits on Disney Plus.
Oh, you finished watching that?
Not yet. I think I've got 1 or 2 episodes left, but surprisingly decent.
Good action scenes. What episode are you on?
Either 5 or 6. I think 6.
So you noticed that Reservoir Dogs vibe about it?
Yeah. It has a very much.
I mentioned that in my review. Yeah, but I was actually worried about this show when I first started watching it, and it ended up being a lot better than I anticipated. There's some good moments in it. Some really good moments in it.
Not the pacing. What's the word I'm looking for? The pacing's fine in it. Absolutely fine. Oh god damn it! Tension.
The story.
No, tension. Similar to the words tension. Well, it's very tense. I think it's tension. Just the tension in it is really good. Like they do a really good job with it. It's very tense kind of moments and that, and I think that's great. And that, so yeah, that's definitely going in one of my top lists.
Yeah, because you watched some of the episodes, and you watched enough for me to mention this now. Because let's be honest, the show is reasonably woke, and regardless of that, it's still fucking good to watch. You know.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it okay.
I would look anybody who's seen some of the things that stick out in this series, would immediately call it woke. Yeah, but the point is, it can be woke and still be fucking good. You know, like woke doesn't automatically mean that it has to be shit. You know, this show obviously has proven the fact that it can be woke and it can be good.
Yeah, there are 2 major what we would call woke moments. Obviously, the main character being black, gay, and the other moment is when he berates a certain person and talks about, hey, look, you're white, so you've already won all this kind of stuff. Those are the 2 main standout moments.
Well, there's no real white people in white men. You know, they take a back seat in this show. That makes it woke. You know, because you know how it is. If white men are not in fucking charge and running everything, then it's fucking woke, and that is the case with this show. And regardless of that, it doesn't fucking matter because it's still pretty good. You know?
That's the thing. See, the thing is, you're so gripped by it that you don't care about anything.
That's what matters.
Hey, these are interesting characters. I want to see the outcome. Even the relationship that the guy is in, the way that kind of fumbles about is so interesting as well as the story progresses. Because it's not just it's here we go. Here's 2 black gay dudes in your face kind of thing. No, the relationship that with the children and with the boyfriend are very interesting as well, because of the kind of
the interesting subplots and additional characters, and stuff like that. But there is a lot of characters in this fucking series. There's a lot of people in it, man. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So check it out. Culprits. It's on Disney Plus. Definitely worth a watch. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm going to finish it off probably tomorrow.
Done my review as well. It's on our channel and TikTok.
Yep. Check out Sam's review. There's a lot of stuff coming out towards the end of this year. Like, didn't expect it. There's been a lot of nothing, and now there's like loads of stuff just popping out. So it's a busy time. A lot of stuff worth watching. But hey, so far so good. Okay, moving on. Sorry, did anyone else want to say anything before I move on? Didn't mean to just.
No, I think we're good.
Okay, Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone, turns out, what a mensch she is. Mensch being an awesome person. So back in 1995, I don't know if you remember that Western that she was in. I forgot what it was called now.
The Quick and the Dead.
That's it, The Quick and the Dead.
That's a great film.
I liked the film. I can't remember if it got good reviews or not, but I really liked the film.
It was a really good film about quick drawing and revenge and stuff like that. I love quick draws, and they have a whole film dedicated on it, like showdowns and stuff like that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe, Gene Hackman, Leonardo DiCaprio, massive cast.
Yeah. So basically,
before Crowe became famous, by the way. So
what happened was, and again, this just shows the kind of person that she is. The studio didn't want Leonardo DiCaprio in it, even though he smashed it at the audition. They just for some reason they had a claw up their neck. They didn't want him. So
he was a child actor back then.
He wasn't known back then. He was.
No, but he was a child actor.
Yeah, he was a child actor. He wasn't really known. And also, they didn't want Russell Crowe either, for whatever reason. And the studio turned around to Sharon Stone. I think she was the executive producer for this film anyway. And they said, well, if you want them, you fucking pay for them. And so she did. She said, I want them in this film. So she gave up her salary to pay for them too. And what an incredible thing to do. Like, to give to actors that you really wanted in your show, you give up your part of your salary to pay for them to be in it, and it helped kind of elevate both of those actors' careers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because before that, like Russell Crowe was in Virtuosity and Romper Stomper and shit like that. He hadn't made Gladiator yet, and Leonardo DiCaprio was just a child actor.
What's that, guys?
Sorry.
LA Story was the LA Confidential.
Yeah, LA Story as well. But even then, like he was part of that contingent of Aussie actors, by the way, because the three main actors were all Aussie: him, Guy Pearce, and fucking Kevin Spacey. And Kevin
Spacey's not Australian.
He is.
No, he's not.
Check it out.
He's American.
He's American.
Yeah.
He's born in New Jersey.
Oh, fair enough. Sorry, there was a third Australian actor in there.
It was a pretty boy actor guy that got murdered early on. They were all in Neighbours. All three of them were in Neighbours.
Yeah.
LA Confidential was actually what launched Russell Crowe's career.
Gladiator.
Yeah, that's what launched him. That's what got him Gladiator and things like that. Gladiator just elevated him to the stratosphere, but it was LA Confidential that launched his career. Well, I mean, technically, you could say it was Romper Stomper that made people aware of him.
Romper Stomper is fucking awesome, man. I love films like that.
Yeah.
It's a great film.
Based on a true story as well.
Yeah, it's a
based on a true story.
Yeah,
it was great. But I just wanted to mention that because again, not enough good news kind of comes out these days. But that Leonardo DiCaprio talked about it in a recent interview about what she'd done, and I just think that's great. And speaking of other people that awesome, I've got to give props to Tom Cruise as well, because basically, if you're not aware, like Hollywood is basically full of Zionists, not necessarily just Jews. It's just white liberals that are very pro-Israel as well. Doesn't matter if they're Jewish or not. And they have been retaliating really like vindictively over any actor or actress just showing just basically saying, hey, ceasefire, just even saying ceasefire. It's not even necessarily about being pro-Palestinian, just saying we want a ceasefire. And there was one actress that's been fired from the Scream franchise. Susan Sarandon got dropped from her agency as well. And another woman got dropped from the Motion Picture Association. And for that one, Tom Cruise stepped in and says, "You fucking better rehire her because that you're violating the Constitution, freedom of speech, all this kind of shit." And because of him, they rehired her. I think they've demoted her within the thing, but they rehired her because of Tom Cruise. And I just think it's nice to see that somebody, even who's in a batshit crazy cult and probably has a million skeletons in his closet, it's just good to see that somebody's standing up for what's right. And it's not the first time he's done that. If you remember the leaked audio of him berating staff for not masking up when they were filming Mission Impossible 6, 7 during the pandemic. And at the time in the UK, we were among the worst cases in the world in the UK because our government are idiots, and they just literally, if you read the messages and all that, they'll just, both Sunak and Boris Johnson were like, let people die, who cares? Okay, so that's the kind of government we have. And people weren't masking up during the filming of whichever Mission Impossible it was, and he's just berating them, saying, look, if you spread the virus and everyone's out of work, got to think about everyone else who's going to be out of job, who shut down production, all this kind of shit. And I just think that kind of attitude is great to have. It's not just about yourself. You're protecting everyone as well. Gaz?
Yeah, I mean, like, because the thing is that we here always push the idea of that people should be able to hire who they want because it's a business. It's free by company. The thing is that unfortunately, a lot of businesses are pro Israel as much as we wish they weren't. Yeah. So, I mean, how much pressure can be applied to them for them to keep people like, I think her name was Melissa Brea, was it? I think that's the name, but Brea or something like that. The one who's
the actress from Scream.
Yeah. So So the thing is that so how much pressure can be applied to them? Because the thing is that what she said was pretty reasonable. She said that she believes in peace and she thinks that people should be treated equally and that people should be genocided for just living somewhere. So,
and the thing is, she quoted an Israeli scholar as well, a Jewish scholar. Who she just basically quoted or reshared like his stuff. And but the thing is, look, these people, the Zionists, they're sick. They are literally sick in the head. They're complete psychopaths. They're not normal fucking people. Any other country that was doing this, these are the same liberal dickheads who will be sitting there going, this is abhorrent, stop this now, Black Lives Matter, yada, yada, yada. But when it comes to Israel, they're just on another planet. They're on another planet. They're sick with the Islamophobia. They're sick with the fucking, the kind of Zionist bullshit. And I'm very, I make sure to call it Zionism.
They can do no wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They could do
They're
no
like
wrong.
MAGA people. It's not...
Exactly. They're a fucking cult. They're a cult. Like, imagine...
Well, I played poker with Zionists, and this woman, her name was Dan. Yeah, I know. I think she was for Danielle or something. But yeah, she would... When it came to like religious talk and stuff like that, she just, she believed the Jews were the special people because they were the first people, and the originals, the Jews, because when you look at the Abrahamic religions, the Jews were the first, and then obviously Christians and Muslims. So she thinks that they're the first and they're the special ones, and everything else. So, so that's how she was. Actual fandom. Yeah. Well, welcome to the stream, mate.
Hello, actual fandom. Yes, it's fucking upsetting how
he's got a really good channel, by the way. He talks about lots of things, and I've been on his channel as a viewer. It's very nice to have him on our stream.
Nice.
But yeah, regarding Zionism and all of that, people like Amy Schumer can say whatever the fuck she wants, and nothing happens to her. And there's one particular person that I really liked, and he's now like just switched all of a sudden. That's Michael Rappaport. Yeah, I used to love his videos. I used to really love his videos.
Can I interrupt you just briefly? I just want to say, so Michael Rappaport is the prime example of how like the propaganda of Zionism has fucked with people's head, because Zam will talk about Michael Rappaport in a second, but he is the prime example of exactly how one thing is okay and the other thing isn't. Zam, go ahead.
Well, yeah, and I would watch his streams. He was very anti-Trump. I loved his New York style, you know, with his bashing. It was
when he used to go off on him. Yep.
It was really good. You know, that get the fuck out of here type of style. Yep. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. And then obviously the Israel-Palestine conflict has happened now, and he is 100% behind Israel. So much so that he doesn't even give a fuck about voting for Biden anymore, and he's jumped on the Trump bandwagon. He's like fully switched, and and it's just hard to believe, because this guy who was shit on Trump all the fucking time, you know, he gives a fuck more about Israel than he does America, a country that's not, you know, that is not his own, you know, and he, which is just so bizarre listening. Sorry about my birds, I do apologize. Just listening to him talk, I'm thinking to myself, shit, you're an American living in America, and you give more of a fuck about what's happening in Israel than what's happening in America, and you're willing to vote for a guy like Trump who wants to end democracy. What the fuck is wrong with you? You know, just because he supports Israel. Biden supports Israel, for fuck's sake. Doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat or Republican, they're going to fucking support Israel. So, yeah. So,
we'll carry on that. Just trying to check out other channels more. It's encouraging how more and more folks like yourself are representing mindful, informed, and empathetic nerds. Oh, that's lovely to hear. We do our best. I mean, we try to be as open-minded on everything as we can, but we also don't tolerate the bullshit that is spouted by a lot of people, and we just give a brutal, honest opinion, especially me and Zam, because we're very North London. In that we'll just call you a fucking bitch if we want to call you a fucking bitch, kind of thing. And Vance here, have you read Osama bin Laden's letter to America? It's a very interesting. We can get to that one later when we go do politics and all of that, because William will be joining for that. But Zionist Hollywood kind of falls into the film TV stuff. That's what I want to talk about it. But Michael Rappaport is a prime example. This is the Black Lives Matter guy. This is the guy that came in shitting all over Trump, not just shitting all over Trump, but espousing progressive ideas, talking about, you know, Medicare and all this and how we've got to look after people and all this kind of shit. And then when it comes to Israel, it's just like, you know, just complete brain fart. Like, absolute, they're all... Mark Hamill did the same shit as well. Mark Hamill's like, Israel has a right to defend itself. Israel now, I stand with Israel. And then the next fucking day, he posts Happy Indigenous Day. And it's just like, do you not understand the irony and hypocrisy within your post? You are defending one set of colonial bastards from Europe and berating the other colonial bastards from Europe. Like, you fucking idiot.
He's both sides. He's both siding everything. That's what these motherfuckers are doing. They're both siding bullshit. Like, it's like, I'm on the side.
These are the same people who support the Ukraine, who are, in this case, the Palestinians in the Slavic region, you know, against the fucking Russians. Yeah, they don't see it. Even I support Arsenal Football Club, and so do you, obviously, Ginger. And we have a player called, you know, Alexander Zinchenko. Yeah, he's Ukrainian, and he's supporting Israel at the same fucking time. I mean, irony's just lost on these motherfuckers. You know, even our own fucking footballers.
No, they're so dumb. Like, you ask these people, and they think like Israel was always there. They think that they have a right to the land. It's the Palestinians that are like the fucking the colonizers or the bad people. It's like, fuck off. Like, seriously. Like, just this is why I get pissed off. But the thing is, when you over here in the UK, I've got to say, like, we've had loads of fucking politicians that have been standing up for what's right, and the protests here have been amazing. And as much as the UK government have tried and the opposition have tried, they've not been able to shut down protests and opposition, especially on TV. Like, I know, like, see, in America, there's been a lot of retaliation in universities, in Hollywood, and all of that. There's been a lot of retaliation, a lot of firing, a lot of silencing, and all this. Over here, they've tried it, but they just can't. They really cannot. And it's been good to see even people like Piers Morgan, who's a big piece of shit, but even he's been on there getting opposing voices in there. While he tells the establishment line, he puts in the opposing voices because he knows that's what's going to get the clicks. Being pro-Israel is not going to get the clicks, and I know that's a cynical way of looking at it, but that's the reality of it. But it's just allowed more just level-headed people to talk about the current situation, and the BBC has been called out for it loads of times on their bias. So
it just makes me feel a bit dirty that I have to fucking, people I despise. I'm aligning with over this particular issue, but there's a lot of people I despise. But when it comes to Palestine, those people and me, we're on the same side. You know what I mean? It's a bit like being in the Survivor Series and teaming up with heels. It's the same fucking shit. And like Andrew Tate, for instance, can't stand the motherfucker. I hate him with a fucking passion. But unfortunately, me and him are on the same side when it comes to fucking Palestine. I think some of his approach is fucking bit weird, because the guy is he's still quite pro-Trump and Trump, if he was in charge, would already turn Palestine into a fucking parking lot by now. But
and that's mainly because of his son-in-law. Like, because his son-in-law will be like, because his son-in-law is like very like proper fucking fundamentalist, Zionist, and Jewish. And because of his son-in-law, he'll just be listening to whatever his son-in-law says. As if he'd be like, yeah, 100 billion, just give it to them, let them level the Gazans. Trump will do it. See, he doesn't know. He's a fucking idiot. He doesn't care.
I mean, the problem is that, and this is the problem that I think that both sides have, is that there are rather sinister attitudes that are around this dialogue that need to be traversed. And saying there isn't is rather immature, in my opinion. Like, there's been some people who, I mean, let's just put facts out, have put out anti-Semitic hate stuff out there. We're not talking about the far right here. We're talking about just normal people who've been like regurgitating that shit. And the thing is there's got to be a medium where the reasonable voices can meet in the middle and just say, and all these fuckers.
Gary, I get what you're saying, and I totally disagree with those people who are being anti-Semitic. 100% disagree with them. They're fucking idiots. Yeah. But the bigger picture is the genocide of Palestinians, who are getting slaughtered. And it's taking regular people now, holding the media and politicians and celebrities in check. It was so good. Just going back to the nerdism part of the thing, back to Scream again. That in a way, a lot of people are boycotting Spyglass Entertainment.
Yep. That's what they should be doing
because of what's been going on. And Spyglass look like shit. I mean, they want to get Nev Campbell back on board now. I mean, this is the problem when you have a fucking slasher franchise. You kill off all your fucking characters. There's only a handful of people you can fucking get. So obviously Jenna Ortega wants nothing to do with them either. And they're looking like shit. And if they do bring out Scream 7, I think a lot of people will say, fuck this, I ain't watching it.
Yeah, they should boycott it and make a fuss of it to say, no, you violated the fucking First Amendment.
Yeah, I think Scream 7 needs to just not even fucking happen at this point. With all the controversy surrounding it, I'm like, fucking just end it. You got 6
just
movies.
end it.
Just end it.
Yeah, fuck it. Shit, anyway. Okay.
I don't want to end it because for some studios, this is the only way they're going to make fucking money.
Yeah,
they don't want to end it. I mean, if they end, it's easy for us to say to end it, but for Spyglass Entertainment, they're thinking, shit, we got nothing else. We need to make
Scream's the bread and butter.
Absolutely true. All right. Well, speaking of shit that won't end, Jason Bourne is looking to return.
Huh?
Matt Damon's Jason Bourne.
Well, we don't know yet. Nobody's signed on to anything yet. We don't know if Raina's in. We don't know if Bourne is in. However, the director involved is what makes is the only reason I'm bringing this up.
Paul
It's 'cause
Greengrass.
So it no, not that guy. Thankfully, it's the guy that
Really?
did All Quiet on the Western Front, which was a fucking awesome German film about set in the First World War, and that is. I mean, if it follows that kind of tone of that film, it could be a really good psychological action thriller. Yeah, that's the main reason I'm talking about it. I hope Matt Damon does return because it was the main reason to watch it as well. Though I did like the first three films. I hated with a passion the editing and the fight sequences though.
Well, the first one was shit. It had the same thing with Batman Begins. That same sort of choppiness. I hated that. The first one, but the second and third one,
they all had the shaky.
No, the second and third one had. Once Paul Greengrass got on board, the directing style was so much different, and it was far better. Oh, here we go. We got Scott Spin in the house.
Yo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be interesting to see what that director does. I think that's a good choice. We're talking about the return of Jason Bourne, Shredder, your favorite film franchise.
I have not watched any of the Bourne movies. They've never interested me.
Yeah, your mic sounds
weird.
weird.
On the mic.
Fix your microphone.
Okay, give me a sec.
It sounded like a tinny.
Did you watch the one with was it
Jeremy Renner?
Yeah, Jeremy Renner in it.
Didn't like it.
You didn't like
Did
it?
not like it.
Seen that.
Absolute rubbish.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. It was rubbish. It was boring.
Personally, I'm waiting for a new James Bond movie more than anything. The Daniel Craig saga is over. I am looking forward to seeing where James Bond goes next, and hopefully, if it pisses people off, especially the Fandom Menace lot, we have somebody who's not necessarily not necessarily a stereotypical looking James Bond character.
Put a chick.
They hire a black person. I'm
put a chick
done
in it.
with
Make
the
her diverse and
franchise.
gay. Put a chick in it. Make her diverse and
gay and lame.
Yeah, that's the answer to everything.
Gay and lame.
Yep, make her gay and lame and diverse. Yeah.
No, first of all, I want a British actor to play, or if the person's not a British actor, then somebody who could definitely pull off an English accent to be more precise.
I'm telling you,
Henry Golding, yeah,
is perfect for the role.
I would love to,
but he's a handsome as fuck dude, and he plays suave perfectly. There's also the guy that was in Bridgetown.
I'm rooting for John Boyega myself. You know what I mean? I would love to see John Boyega as
I'll take John Boyega.
Well, you want an actor who can do a convincing English accent. What about Tommy Wiseau?
Yes.
See
that?
You're tearing me apart here, Shred. What are you on about? Man?
You're All right, villain. I have to stop you. It's what I do. And then he just like fucking throws the water bottle down. Oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah.
or even the guy who was in the guy from Culprits. Him playing James Bond. The lead actor, I forgot his name, but he's a pretty black British actor.
He's not the best of actors.
All I could picture now is he could go. Tommy would just be like, "I did not shoot him. It was bullshit. I did not shoot him. I did not." Oh, hi, villain. Smack. Yeah.
Let Boyega replace Majors as Kang. Sure.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
That too,
that
for
too.
sure. You can do
That
both.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do both.
Bring back Boyega. Damn it. Yeah, he was great in They Clone Tyrone. Fucking brilliant.
Yeah, that was a really good film.
Yeah.
Him and
the
Jamie
last
Foxx.
half awesome, but yeah, the first 2/3 of it were awesome. But yeah. Okay, so moving on to Shredder, you come in just the right time. AEW Full Gear. We had the pay-per-view past week, and the main reason I want to talk about it is Hangman Page really is as dumb as CM Punk says he is. So he had a Texas death match with is it Swerve?
Swerve. Yep.
Yeah, Swerve. Both these guys are not a disgrace to the profession.
Yeah. I mean, this match was ridiculous. absolute, just everything I hate about wrestling. And you know, the crowning moment was when Swerve is cut open, bleeding profusely. Hangman Page goes under him and drinks his fucking blood.
Yep.
Even ECW wouldn't do stupid shit like that.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
As somebody who hasn't watched.
Was Nigel McGuinness there by any chance? I mean,
I was just about to say Nigel McGuinness was there, the man who is an advocate to stop kind of bleeding in wrestling or whatever it is.
Because he wound up on the sideline with hepatitis B.
Yeah, he did, and that's what caused him. That was part of what caused him to retire, if I remember.
Yeah,
right.
because he couldn't get cleared he couldn't get cleared by TNA for his return, but eventually he was cured of the virus, and he had his farewell tour. But it was a big issue with him, you know, the whole issue with blood and wrestling. I mean, he was absolutely against going, you know, he would not go to the ring if someone had bled on that canvas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if someone had bled in that canvas, they needed to change it immediately.
Yep.
Is that how he caught hepatitis B? Was it through wrestling or was it STD?
That's the thing. It's unknown. I mean,
okay.
There were accusations, but again, there was never anything credible to back them up that he got hepatitis from fucking a ring rat. And there's others who said that hepatitis B is pretty much a virus like the flu, so he could have easily caught it from another pro wrestler.
Mm.
Yeah. So at least he's cured of it, which is great. But yeah, I mean, the fact that match is going on with him there was just. I'll let you guys take over. It was fucking.
Go ahead.
Yeah, look. Tommy Dreamer and Raven bled buckets over each other. Neither of them drank the other one's blood.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Dreamer used to get AIDS tested every single fucking month. Is this what's going to happen in any professional company like AEW? ECW was an outlaw promotion. Let's be honest. You know, it was never going to be mainstream like WCW or WWE was. And again, these guys were bleeding profusely over one another. WWE, not so much. There was blood, but generally it would only be maybe one person in the match would bleed. You wouldn't have both guys doing it.
Yeah.
You know, here, both these guys bleeding buckets, and again, they're swapping blood. One of them is willingly putting another human being's blood in their own mouth.
Right. So I have
is it going to take somebody catching hepatitis C or HIV or some other bloodborne disease this kind of shit to stop in AEW?
This is part of the reason I've always said AEW will only grow a certain number, and they're only going to cater to the hardcores because of shit like this. When you do stupid shit like this, it's only going to appeal to a niche audience. This in no way will attract people to watch AEW. If it does get people to watch AEW, it's just to look at them and go, how fucking stupid are these people? Because that's essentially what it is that they just did. Yeah.
I have absolutely despised the deathmatch culture in AEW. The barbed wire matches, with guys bleeding profusely all over each other. I have objected to that. That should not be in a mainstream professional wrestling promotion. I hate the fact that Moxley bleeds every single fucking match.
You look at that motherfucker and blink at him and he starts bleeding. That's how he is. Yeah.
I thought the low point of AEW in the deathmatch bullshit was Chris Jericho and Nick Gage. But this
topped that easily. Yeah.
Okay. I've not actually watched this match, so I can't comment. But I will say the thing with Moxley is that I like it because it's who he is, and I'd rather people be like something that's actually legitimate. I can actually believe in than some bullshit. So
go to the indies, then, don't you think?
But look, Abdullah the Butcher used to bleed all the time, and it was fucking ridiculous. Ian Rotten used to bleed all the time. Yeah, it's who they were because they couldn't fucking work any differently.
Nope. New Jack was one of the masters of bleeding all the time, and he would hit motherfuckers for real.
And you look at the state of New Jack's forehead before he died. I mean, look at Abdullah the Butcher can put coins in the scars in his head.
Yeah, and you can see it happening on Moxley as well. Now, if you look at his fucking
so many wrestlers had that. Dusty Rhodes had that.
Yep, Dusty Rhodes had that scar on his head.
I think Devon Dudley's got some grooves in his
Devon's
head.
got that on his head.
But here's the thing: those guys didn't bleed every single fucking match, which is what John Moxley's doing.
Yeah,
those guys they would only take the blade out whenever it was a big match.
Yep,
and they were getting into a violent fight with somebody like Terry Funk. Or they got hit in the head with a steel chair or the belt by Ric Flair.
Yeah, this is why I'm okay with blood when the storyline or match calls for it. When you have blood for the sake of bleeding, it makes no fucking sense. I'm okay with blood as long as the storyline or match calls for it, but you don't need to bleed and blade every fucking match. It ruins the appeal.
For me, Jose, I think if blood comes out, I'd rather it be by accident than by purpose.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Sam. Same. I don't
we're at a stage now that we don't need blood. We generally don't need it unless it, because we know what wrestling is.
Yes. Yep.
That's a meme I made of John Moxley.
That's accurate.
So much. Yeah.
Well, I mean, for all the shit that the PG era has gotten in WWE, the one thing I could say, I'm actually glad they don't have as violent matches anymore like they used to. I'm actually glad that they've scaled down on the violence a lot. When you look back older,
I just want a technical masterclass.
Yeah,
that's what I want in my matches. That's what I enjoy now. When I was in my teens and all that, I loved my ECW. Yep. I loved my hardcore matches in WWE, all that kind of stuff. I didn't care for the blood. Like if there was bleeding, fine. But the blood wasn't the be or end all. It's if the match was funny, fun, and just crazy.
Yeah,
for the hardcore stuff. But yeah, as you get older, you more appreciate the technical stuff.
Yeah,
I don't mind blood when it's done right. Mm-hmm. So Bret Hart, Steve Austin, that match at WrestleMania 13, the blood pouring down Austin's face made that match, and it made the finish.
Yep,
you were Austin passed out in the sharpshooter. That's fine. Something like that, I'm fine with. If you've got guys who know what they're doing, like a Mick Foley who was prepared to have Terry Funk punch him in such a way that he would hardway him. He would legitimately bust open his eyebrow and add to the match. I'm fine with that. What I don't want is guys who are just blading for the sake of blading every single goddamn match.
Yep.
Again,
that's where I'm at.
There's clips on YouTube of Ian Rotten literally walking around the ring, like he's getting ready for a collar and elbow tie-up, and he's literally running the razor blade across his forehead.
Yep.
Yeah. By the way, just to be clear, I don't want it all the time, but it should be seasoning to a storyline. Let's say if it's a blow-off to a major feud, for example, I don't mind it there because it shows that the animosity between the two participants has got to the fact that they actually want physical blood. That's a storytelling.
Yeah, like if it was going to be a Hell in a Cell match, there has to be blood. Type of thing.
For me, I had enough of blading when Eddie Guerrero fought JBL, and he overdid it with the blade.
Oh yeah, and he really cut himself.
He went too deep.
Yeah, hey, look, again, I don't want to see another incident like that. But again, I still think that there is a time where it can it can be done, and it makes the match. Yep. I mean, hell, AEW's even had it. CM Punk has done a couple of blade jobs while he was there in his matches with MJF, or that spot the Wembley show where Samoa Joe threw him head first through the side of the announce table.
I end up genuinely being concerned outside of kayfabe, that these guys are going to fucking lose too much blood, because Eddie Guerrero, the amount of blood he lost in that match against JBL, I mean, he was pouring it.
He had that fucking spasm attack a couple days later. I remember that shit.
Yeah,
against the Dudleys.
But that should be a case of if somebody is bleeding as heavily as Eddie was,
stop the match.
Then why isn't an agent in the back stopping the match?
Yep.
Yeah. But once again, like I feel like I'm at a stage at wrestling now where, I mean, like the best match of all time was Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker WrestleMania 25.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't have any bleeding in it whatsoever. It had some good spots, some good bumps, good moves, and I feel that if blood is there by accident is more than I'll accept it than by purpose. And like things like headshots as well. Like that's the one good thing in my opinion.
I'm so glad we don't see those anymore. Yeah,
like chair shots with Yeah, like with the. I mean, I don't mind with a trash can. It's not so bad. Something soft. Yeah, but something hard like a chair or even a kendo stick, which can really fuck your brain up and stuff like that.
With your
I'm glad they're not doing shit like that anymore. I'm not even a fan of them. I'm not even a fan of like wrestlers landing on ladders, awkwardly and stuff like that. You could really break your spine and stuff like that. Yeah, like landing on metal. I mean, I've always felt the ladder should have like a plastic covering around it, anything that they're not going to stab themselves accidentally or crack their back open or whatever.
And be glad that they don't do that stupid.
But still,
and be glad they don't do that stupid shit where a guy would put a ladder on his head and start swinging. I'm glad they don't do that either.
Oh yeah,
no, they don't do
that.
What
happened to Joey Mercury? You remember Joey Mercury? What happened to him?
AEW Full Gear.
They do, but I'm talking about WWE. I'm glad WWE doesn't do that. Right, they don't do that. But but with Joey Mercury, I'll never forget that. Like I was like, oh god, I hope that's something we never see again. With that leg drop into the ladder.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's certain things that I'm glad I stopped. I disagree with Zam about there not being bloody, but it should be there as seasoning, as I said before. Like I'm trying to think of a few. Like for example, with CM Punk MJF in the dog collar match, it needed to be there because they were telling the story about the fact that MJF had looked up to Punk as a younger guy, and he'd been like the way he'd gotten out of bullying and flaming, the way that Punk left, kind of left him feel abandoned. There was a literal dislike there that they played upon, and they needed blood to kind of tell the story there.
They didn't need blood to tell the story there. They didn't. It's just blood. Like if it happens, it happens. But again, it's not. People need to get out of this fucking mindset.
A better example probably would be, say, I don't know, Mick Foley's last two matches with the Triple H.
Yeah,
because that made Triple H.
Yeah, those were the matches that made Triple H. Yeah, he even said that himself. He's like, we didn't really do blood except for the Hell in the Cell, but we went just as violent with the thumbtacks and
they did. Well, they did blood in the street fight Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, because Cactus did bleed in that match. Yeah, both of them did.
But
I remember that match.
Cactus was inadvertent, whereas Triple H did a blade job.
Yeah.
It seems like the Inferno matches and stuff like that. Not a fan of whatsoever. You're asking for trouble.
I was cool with it the first time they did it with Taker and Kane because it made sense. But then after that, I'm like, you could have killed the concept, and I would have been fine with it if you had done it that one time.
It's also a fire hazard. I mean, I don't know if it means like a fucking job's worth. It's just too
wrestling as a history of doing some stuff that really puts guys' lives at risk. I mean, the scaffold match being a perfect example.
Yeah, yes. Cornette took the worst bump of all time. I'll never forget that shit.
Yeah, it was worst of his ACLs.
Yeah.
Well, he did. Well, let's clarify, Jose. Cornette took the worst bump up until Vic Grimes.
Yeah, until Vic Grimes did. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, New Jack went half blind. Yeah.
Yeah, it's when New Jack threw him off a scaffold and trying to kill him.
Yep. Yeah, because he legit tried to kill him.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
But again, just getting back to this AEW match, Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page. How the hell did anyone at AEW think this was a good idea? Why did nobody? Swerve Strickland is now involved in this tournament that they're running. Their version of the G1, the Continental Classic, I think they're calling it. Why didn't they fucking fire both Hangman and Swerve immediately after that match?
Well, apparently Hangman Page told them about the spot and they okayed it.
Yeah, Tony Khan. Here's the thing: Tony Khan plays fanboy. That's the truth of it. Tony Khan plays fanboy. Doesn't make it right, but that's what he does. Yeah. Tony Khan allows shit to go on that he shouldn't.
Yeah.
Again, I would love to know what Nigel McGuinness's reaction was to that.
Oh, I would have walked if I was him. I would have said, okay, either stop this shit or I walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so you know, as cheaters to join us, Christine unfortunately can't make it today. She's having technical issues. And so we'll try and get her in next week before we go live. See what happens.
But yeah, with Hangman and Swerve, it was it was one of the most bloody and most violent matches in the history of AEW. And like I said, it's only going to appeal to the hardcore audience, people, because let's be real. AEW is never going to get past a certain level. There's just no way. You could sign all the talent in the world and only diehards will really be the ones watching this shit at the end of the day.
Well, I wish I disagreed, but I do agree. Because the thing is that they don't bring stories in to grab you. They just bring in stupid shit, and it just seems to push people away. I mean, like, I think they've lost like something like 200 or 300.
Oh, dude, the days of them getting up to 1 million are gone. They're going to cap out at like 600,000-700,000 now.
There is also a real danger. There is a real danger that Warner Brothers might end up ditching AEW and getting WWE, because
I've heard
WWE moving like CW, obviously, and then they could do an overall deal with Warner Brothers in their new deals, and they could ditch AEW.
Yeah,
which would ultimately pulling viewers.
Yeah, which would ultimately suck for Ring of Honor, because Ring of Honor I know is shopping for a home, but I don't even know if they'll find it, despite the fact that they just got Ronda for a pay-per-appearance deal.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Khan is just not. He's just too fucking stupid and stubborn. He's going to die on the hill that almost drove WWE out of business in the 90s. And it's just like, just fucking let somebody else run your product.
Give it to Danielson. I've always said that.
Sit there and snort your fucking cocaine.
Yep. Give it to Danielson. I've always said, give it to him. Yeah. Give Danielson the book.
Yeah. I mean, fucking, it's frustrating because they've got such a great pool of talent.
Yep.
That it's just going to go to waste, and people are already always like talking backstage about just being frustrated with creative, and it's just like, what is it going to take? What is it going? And the only thing it's going to take is them getting kicked out of.
I mean, at this point, they're literally just becoming Combat Zone Wrestling with a bigger budget.
Yep.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, essentially, yes.
Yeah. That's it. That is ridiculous.
All right, but staying on wrestling, I have something I want to talk about.
All
right.
Vince McMahon fucked a camel?
No, that's not going to happen, damn it. Let it go. We've been through this. All right.
Oh, damn it.
If CM Punk does not show up at Survivor Series, I want to say something. If he doesn't show up at Survivor Series, WWE is not to blame for this. It is all of you that believe in the dirt sheet bullshit that said, oh, yeah, CM Punk might show up. All WWE's done is they've trolled you. They never said the motherfucker was showing up. So if CM Punk does not show up tomorrow night at Survivor Series, I don't blame WWE. Blame yourselves for following and believing the hype, despite the fact that
I ain't doing
WWE
any
never
Mephisto bullshit here, man.
You know who's showing up at Survivor Series?
Black Snow.
Mephisto showing up at Survivor Series. And Apocalypse. They're going to be holding on.
I thought you were going to say Apocalypse.
2 years ago, let it go.
No, we're not going to let that go.
Never.
You'll never live that down.
Listen, if NerdTube ever does merch, I'm going to make some kind of Boss Man Apocalypse
merch. Yep.
Somehow, I will figure it out.
If you make that merch, I will wear it to the ring.
All right.
They got my promise there.
Okay, we're all here to win.
I mean, they're never going to let go. Apocalypse and the hand sticking out of Earth.
Yep, and the hand sticking out of Earth and Eternals. We'll never let that go.
Well, the other thing we're not letting go of because at least 3 of us have promised that we're going to show up to your first ever match and shout gravy every time you hit somebody.
Gravy. Yep. But if CM Punk does not show up, blame yourselves. Blame the dirt sheet writers. You guys created this. This is on you. So don't go into it with expectations. That's all I'm going to say in regard to CM Punk.
I love that they're thinking, oh, it's going to be CM Punk, but it's just fucking Randy Orton.
Yep.
Yeah,
right. Coming back. It's just
you know what you guys can do, though, with Boss Man's first ever match?
What?
You guys can do like Goldberg, but do gravy. As he's coming out of the gravy.
By the way, I expect with the good guys in the Judgment Day versus the other guys match, I expect one of them to turn heel. So maybe Randy Orton does it.
That was my thought.
He turns on Jay. He turns on Jay. Yeah.
No, I think he'll turn on Cody Rhodes.
He's going to turn on Jay because it makes more sense because the Bloodline are the one that took Randy Orton out. and Jay is associated with Cody and them, and he'll be like, all right, motherfucker, by association, I have to take you out along with them because you motherfuckers took me out for a while.
CM Punk doesn't come. If CM Punk doesn't come back, I can just imagine Randy turning on Cody and then possibly setting up a long enough feud that goes into WrestleMania.
No, that's not going to happen.
They're going to do Cody Roman too.
One of the Usos.
Yeah, one of the Usos he's going to take out, and then with Cody, they're pretty much giving it away that it's going to be Cody Roman at WrestleMania. What I would do is I would finish back the finish of Solo spiking Cody, but Cody kicks out. That would be the only false finish I would add in that match.
It's going to be Jay versus Jimmy at WrestleMania. They're saving that.
Yeah,
I mean that's what's going to happen there. So that's
but
for sure.
You could stretch it out to Rumble and then have like Orton Roman, and then Roman just beats Orton because it's obvious that's kind of what they're going to do. I would think if you're going to.
I don't want Orton anywhere near the main event scene. Fuck that guy. He's so boring.
Tell him how you really feel.
I can't stand him. I can't stand the guy, man. He's part of the quartet of some of the most boring fucking wrestlers to ever get elevated, and I can't stand it. Like, just yeah. Just not a fan at all. Never been a fan of it.
Oh, you know you're going to mark out when you see Orton put somebody in a headlock tomorrow. Stop that. You know you're going to mark out and lose your fucking mind. Yeah. You're going to be like, oh, he's putting him in a headlock. Oh, my God, this is a 5-star classic. He's got him in a headlock.
You should count the headlocks, like Wrestling Bios did with the chin locks.
The chin locks, yeah.
But he does have the greatest face here of all time.
What?
He has the greatest face here of all time.
That's an elevated diamond cutter.
RKO is just nothing special, mate. He can execute it really well.
He can pull it out of anywhere. That's the thing that I like about it.
Yeah, that's the only good thing.
If I expect anything tomorrow, Damian Priest needs to win the World Heavyweight title. It's time he cashes that damn thing in. He's had it for a while. Let's do a shocking moment and have him cash in on Seth. Why not?
Couldn't agree more.
I mean, Seth is in the damn match, so you might as well have him cash it in on him.
Is Miz fighting Gunther?
Miz needs to lose that match. Let Gunther reign.
I'm gonna win.
Yeah, let Gunther have it.
I'm really loving Miz as a face. I mean, I think he's at a stage of his career now where people respect him. He's nostalgic. All of that. 20 years in the business. It's like the guy's a lot better than people thought he would ever be. And I'm happy that he's a face. I think he deserves a face run.
But I agree. I think Gunther needs to keep it. Like, I'm sorry. Like the Miz needs to be in my opinion, and I know I'm not a current wrestling fan, but the Miz needs to be in the heavyweight title scene. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I mean, I don't care if it's the world title. I don't care. I mean, I don't care if it's the WWE title, which we know the Miz won't take Reigns out. But still, like, the Miz is way past intercontinental or United States territory.
Yeah.
He needs to be. And don't get me wrong, I don't look down upon it, but they're mid-card titles. Like, they're, you can't have. I hate it when guys who are world heavyweight, like, and above, like, rankings come down to the intercontinental title, and then it's just like, it just doesn't work for me.
Yeah, it doesn't elevate it.
The Miz is past it now. Okay, he's not. He's another boring wrestler. Like, he doesn't have like classic matches and all this kind of shit. He plays it too safe. I just want to see him just go and be a color commentator now. That's where he needs to evolve, or become a manager, a general manager, something like that.
If Big E doesn't take the commentary gig first, because I think that's where Big E's going to go. His wrestling career is likely over.
I'd love to see Big E do that, but there's three areas where Miz could work.
Miz would be a great general manager. He'd be one of the greatest general managers of all time. That's where he needs to be. When he retires,
Big E could be a manager. I think Big E could be the manager of the New Day. I mean,
he could, but the New Day's kind of New Day hit their peak years ago.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Shredder?
I think. Oh, go ahead.
Shredder.
I was going to say, Miz has been around for nearly 20 years, so at this point in his career, I think he probably should maybe consider winding down and grooming a younger talent in the tag division for a year or two.
That Australian kid on NXT, apparently, he's like the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Grayson Waller.
Yeah,
I think honestly, Big E should probably do the manager thing for the New Day, but they should replace also that third spot in the New Day. I think Sami Zayn should join the New Day. I think it'd be great.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah,
power of positivity, and Sami Zayn would fit.
He would, but the problem is that I mean, it's just a whole nother stable for Sami Zayn to get thrown into. Like they shit the bed with Sami Zayn so much.
I think
that was the biggest of the year was Sami Zayn's storyline.
Sami Zayn needs to fight Seth Rollins at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight title.
No, he should have beat Roman Reigns for the WWE title at WrestleMania.
He should have, but I think that ship has sailed.
I know. And, that's why I'm so infuriated.
I agree with you. I'm 100% with you on this. But for seeing the future, I think maybe fighting Seth Rollins would be the compromise.
Fuck that. Put Sammy and Priest in there. Priest needs to be the guy that carries that title now. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to just come out and say it.
Mm-hmm.
Damian Priest needs to be that dude that carries it past WrestleMania if they're not going to put it on Sami Zayn. I would have Damian Priest be that dude. Yep.
Yeah. No, I think Damian Priest, I mean, every time I've seen Damian Priest, whether it was in the Rumble, WrestleMania, and clips that I've seen, like he's an impressive talent. They need to elevate these people. I'm sorry. Yep. Roman Reigns is so fucking boring. Every time I watch him, I want him to lose. Maybe it's because he's had the title for too long. He's
become heel Hulk Hogan now.
Yeah, he's become NWO Hogan, but a more boring version of him.
And he's only going to fight on pay-per-views.
Yeah. I think Reigns is a great wrestler.
He's not a great look. Okay, I'm not the wrestling person I used to be, but still, every match I've watched of Roman Reigns has been boring as hell. Kevin Owens, honestly, like I know Ginger doesn't like him, but Kevin Owens I feel like can go in the ring. And the match between Reigns and Kevin Owens that I saw at the Royal Rumble was boring. Every time I've seen Kevin Owens in the ring, he normally brings it. He was boring as hell with Roman Reigns. I'm sorry. Like,
well, also there was that botch where they couldn't.
There was that botch where Kevin
the issue with the handcuffs.
Yeah, Kevin technically won that match. Yeah.
Look, I don't mind Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns, like say John Cena, for instance, you just know they're going to fucking win, and that's my issue. Like one of my biggest issues with the WWE was predictability. One of the reasons why I stopped watching, because what's the point of watching something if you know who's going to win? The most unpredictable win ever, in my opinion, was Brock Lesnar beating The Undertaker.
Yeah, because nobody saw that coming.
Nobody saw that coming. I mean, even the crowd, they were so disinterested in it. They couldn't be. It wasn't until Brock got the fucking pin that the crowd realized what the fuck happened. So yeah, predictability is my problem, and even when matches like Roman Reigns lost, like tag matches, I can see that coming because that's a good way to make him lose a match in a fucking tag match. He's still got the fucking belt.
Or just do what the NWO did and just DQ. I mean, you still technically lose the match, but you don't lose the belt.
Yeah, because NWO ended up DQing pretty much 95% of the time.
That's right.
Yep.
I just feel that with Roman Reigns now, who's left? R-Truth. I mean, who the fuck is left? Yeah,
Gunther's going to be. Gunther's going to be.
I'm a heel versus heel, but would they let that happen? Yeah,
no. Gunther's going to be
the next big heel of the company once Reigns, because once he loses the belt, probably at Mania, he's going to just wind his career down now.
If anything, Gunther. Here's what you do. WrestleMania 41, I've already got your main event. Gunther, Cody. That's your main event right there. Gunther and Cody. And Gunther wins the World Heavyweight. Gunther becomes WWE champion for the first time. Because that Royal Rumble that they did last year
was... You're talking about next year's, 2 years' time, not next year's.
By WrestleMania 41, I want Gunther, Cody to be the main event. That's going to be the main event because those two tore the house down in the Royal Rumble, and that was the best final two that they've ever done since Taker and Shawn back in 2007. I don't think you'll ever see
again. It was number 1 and number 30.
Yep.
Yeah, that was absolutely phenomenal fucking match.
Yep.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Yeah, and I would have. Yeah, and I would just have Gunther and Cody at WrestleMania 41 tear the house down, let them go to work.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, when it comes to Reigns, the guy I'd have beat him would probably be like someone like a Gunther. You want to make a new star, and Gunther probably is the right sort of place in his career that he needs that extra push. He probably could do it.
Yeah,
but
it's not somebody who needs the extra push, not.
But as a heel though, that's kind of my only conundrum with it. I'm like, as a heel, I don't know if I buy that.
The crowd will get behind Gunther big time.
Yeah, they could do it.
But I'm a big advocate of Mrs. Hill, by the way.
Hang on, Shredder on.
Right, I was going to say Gunther is the one guy on the roster you could actually create some genuine intrigue with, as in who is actually going to win.
Yeah.
And he's not like you're not going to have the predictability of like, oh well, Roman's clearly fucking going over against Ricochet.
Yep.
No, is Gunther, because he's outgrown the Intercontinental title. Let's be honest.
He said that. He even said that. He said, "Yo, I'm past this title. I don't need it." He's like, I did what I needed to do. I'm going down as one of the top 5 Intercontinental champions of all time, which he is. And yeah, by WrestleMania season of 2025, it's going to be Gunther's time, if it's not already.
Yeah, for sure. Zan, before I chime in, you wanted to say something.
No, listen, I'm a big advocate of heel versus heel matches, and I wouldn't mind it. I do enjoy it. It brings a different flavor to the wrestling as well when you've got two people who are very dirty fighting each other, and then there's obviously they both got their there's little scoundrels, like you got Gunther's guys, and then you got the remaining Bloodline members like Jimmy and Solo, causing shenanigans and all of that sort of stuff. I think that'd be great fun. It doesn't happen much, unfortunately, in the WWE, but it'll be fun.
I honestly feel like it would doing heel versus heel in that way, but both of them. Well, I can't say anything about Reigns, but like Gunther being an amazing talent, I love the idea of making the crowd choose. The crowd has to choose who they're behind, and you're right.
Who
they'll
you
pick
going
Gunther because they know Gunther deserves it and is far more talented than Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
they'll be behind Gunther beyond belief because
even if he is a heel, and even if he does all the dirty tactics, you would still get an Eddie Guerrero type response at that point because they wouldn't be behind Reigns; they'd be behind Gunther, and I like that idea.
I could say this though: the only person I feel sorry in this situation, despite the fact that he just turned heel, is Drew McIntyre. He's the only one I feel bad for.
He's been lost in the mix.
Yeah, because he just turned, and now it's like, fuck. Okay, this turn should have happened forever ago. McIntyre should have been a heel already.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing with McIntyre is, because out of his frustration, he's not going to stay. He'll be gone in January.
You think?
Well,
he's not signed. He's got 2 months to go. His contract is up January 2024, and he's just going to run his contract down and leave. And that way, there's no non-compete either.
No, okay.
I don't know why he would want to do that. Like He's reached the pinnacle within the WWE. He's a main event guy when he needs to be. Why would he want to fucking leave?
Creative frustration because he wanted that world title, and they told him. They probably did what Vince McMahon did to Bret Hart back in the day. Oh, you're going to be the man. You're going to hold it for a long time. And then what the fuck did they do? They took it off of Bret Hart.
I still don't get it, because he's, like I said, he's a top tier guy. He's not going to be just like dropping down to the mid card and be useless. He's there to be used when you need a main event guy, and he's going to get fucking paid.
For the last almost 2 years. That's the problem.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
I mean, he's not going to get dropped down. He's going to get something worse. He's going to stay at main event status and get nothing because Roman Reigns is the ball hog.
Yeah.
Even so, are you happy just to have a
2024? Roman's coming to an end in 2024. He's out after that. Yeah. After that, maybe he's probably out.
Aren't you just happy to have a secure job that pays you well and you're working for the top tier company? Isn't that sometimes a little bit more important than whether you win the fucking belt or not in the script?
No, McIntyre's more about creative than money. He's set for the rest of his life. He ain't got shit to worry about when it comes to financial security. And he's good on that.
Look at how much he reinvented himself after he was let go by WWE the first time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I liked him before he was let go by the WWE. I liked him then. I mean, I know he was kind of.
I went from 3MB to 2 members went from 3MB to world champions within that group. That's just insane to think about.
Yeah, but you talk about diversity quota. One of them definitely was. You know what I mean? So
yep.
Yeah,
and I like that. I liked when Jinder Mahal won the belt. This is what fucks me off with WWE is there is just it's too predictable. So when they do the unpredictable stuff,
I agree. I agree. I'm with you 100%. I love the unpredictability of it. It just pisses me off that the Indian wrestlers that WWE signs tend to be really fucking shit. Him and people like fucking shut up you. Him like Great Khali are really shit. Whilst I've been watching a documentary on Netflix about OVW, and there's a really good Indian wrestler there, who was on TNA back in the day. Like somebody needs to sign this motherfucker up. There are good Indian wrestlers.
Are you talking about Mahabali Shera?
Yeah. Is he shit?
He wasn't good, no. Mahabali Shera.
I'm watching a documentary. I'm watching a documentary and not actual wrestling. But
the documentary is brought to you by the WWE.
Yeah,
one of the best Indian wrestlers for me will always be Sanjay Dutt.
Yeah, Sanjay, I miss him. Yeah, I was Sanjay Dutt.
Yeah, Sanjay got fucked. Sanjay got fucked. I will never forgive TNA for doing the Pink Taco segment. I am still pissed off about that. That they had him ruin Jay Lethal's wedding, and then it's like, oh, okay, him and SoCal Val are gonna fuck, and that's the end of the angle. You're not gonna have Jay Lethal want to kill him. Like that was where they needed to go with it, and they didn't do that.
No, that was Vince Russo shit.
Yeah.
That was.
But no, I mean, Drew's not also a great talent in the ring. He's also a great talent outside the rings because he's always about helping people get to the next level. So he's always like, helping guys get to because I've heard those stories. That he's always like helping guys get to say like you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do the other to get to where you want to get to. Yeah. So like I mean,
oh god, they'll chew him out at AEW if he goes there and does that. But fuck you, I want to drink blood, motherfucker.
Well, I don't really want to go to AEW.
There's two reasons I can see Drew McIntyre leaving WWE and going to somewhere like AEW. One is creative. Now, I'm not saying he would go there specifically to be the world champion, but I think it would give him a lot of creative control in his contract. He could book his own storylines and do the angles that he wants to do.
He can do that doesn't work for me, brother. He can play that.
No, I'm not even saying that you could do the whole that doesn't work for me thing, brother. But if you give him a bigger platform to do the kind of things that he did after he was released the first time, when he reinvented himself in ICW to the point that even Mick Foley was praising him and saying he never pictured Drew McIntyre as a main event until Drew went back to ICW and reinvented himself. And then Drew started main eventing all over the world for places like Evolve. He started main eventing for TNA. Again, he reinvented himself, and if he could do that in a bigger platform, I think he probably would if he was given creative freedom to do so. Yeah. The other is money. Simply put, I think Tony Khan probably would offer him a bigger paycheck, or maybe slightly less money, but he's not having to work house shows anymore.
Yeah, because AEW stopped doing house shows, didn't they, a while back?
No, they've never done house shows. It was just TV.
Oh, okay.
Which I like because wrestlers shouldn't be working themselves to fucking death. I mean, their bodies need to relax, for fuck's sake. They need time to heal up and whatever. It's not good.
Yeah, but wrestlers make more money on house shows than they do on the television shows.
But
maybe the way if the WWE just paid them more instead of them having to work house shows in the first place, that would be the better option.
Well, the way AEW is doing it is they pay the guys a guaranteed contract. They work a certain number of TV dates every year, and the guys on their downtime can go and work independent shows. They can pick and choose where they want to go.
Yeah, or stream on Twitch for that matter.
Yeah, because
exactly.
For instance, like that one was it the Highlanders? One of them when they were doing a Mania in Florida.
Yeah, one of them went to TNA and got caught on the camera.
That was different. Yeah, he was in the audience of the TNA show. He got caught on that, and they fired him.
Watching it as an audience member, and that ruined his life. And that's the WWE for you.
Well, he's given interviews since, and he's said, he was pretty much on the outs with WWE. He wanted actually to get fired. He was wanting an excuse.
Yeah, they had heat anyway. They had heat anyway. I don't know.
Don't get me wrong. He's saying that in an interview. I mean, it does save face. by saying that. I mean, he could have just.
I mean, he's been saying that for years. Like, he was so frustrated and unhappy working there that he just wanted out.
Yeah, because
they were doing nothing with him, and they were doing nothing with him, and his tag partner was out injured.
Yeah, because the Highlanders, they showed up. They didn't really do a whole lot. It was like, okay, yeah, they're there, but what the fuck were you doing with them? Just using them as bodies.
This was a point where WWE did not care about. They didn't care about tag wrestling. You know, they had Crime Time, they had the Highlanders, and who did they put the belts on? The fucking Spirit Squad.
Yep.
And then DX.
Granted, Shredder, but still, like, shut up. You shouldn't have to be fired over sins like that. In my opinion, I think it's very stupid of the WWE.
Bro, do you know what Vince McMahon's superpower is? Vince McMahon's superpower is pettiness. That is his number one superpower in the world, is to be a petty son of a bitch. I mean, that is what he does. That's what he did for many years up until they forced him out.
Well, it's like with Undertaker. Like, Undertaker went to, after he kind of wind down his wrestling, he went to just some sort of wrestling of not event, but fan get together and shit like that. And Vince McMahon apparently was heartbroken because it wasn't scheduled under the WWE, and he felt betrayed. And so now he signed Undertaker up that the only sort of fan events Undertaker does is under the umbrella of the WWE. You know, he wants to own people. He's crazy, but you're an independent contractor, and yet you can't do shit unless we tell you.
What, some white guy from Connecticut wants to own people? No.
No.
But again, the thing is as well, though, but again, TNA at that point was WWE's main competition. You know, they were a distant number 2 competition, but they were still able to get WWE's talents to a degree.
The fact that they got Kurt Angle to this day is still the best signing they ever got. Yeah.
I would say, it's definitely between him and Christian Cage.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that, but then when you mention how some of these wrestlers within AEW are able to perform for other competitions, at least as much as AEW do a lot of stupid things, how they treat their wrestlers to a degree is far better than what the WWE does. So I give them credit for that.
Yeah, AEW just needs to get their shit together, but we know Tony Khan ain't going to do that. Tony Khan is a 13-year-old that likes to pretend he's on message board booking fantasy matches.
They ain't going to last more than 3 years at this fucking rate on TV. Anyway.
No, they won't.
I'm waiting for Dark Side. I'm waiting for a Dark Side of the Ring where they wind up discussing how wrestlers wound up giving each other hepatitis or AIDS.
Yep. I'm waiting until
the fall of AEW.
I'm waiting until like the barbed wire kills somebody or severely injures somebody, because that's going to be the one I'm waiting on.
You mean like how like AEW is going to have on mainstream television? They're probably going to have like an incident where Sabu ripped his bicep.
Yeah, or like, the ring gets caught on fire, or some bullshit like that, because they've come close. Never forget that fucking barbed wire match that happened in AEW, ladies and gentlemen, where Eddie Kingston had to pretend that he was knocked unconscious. That is still the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'm still pissed that my Botchamania ending didn't get picked up for that. Moxley the Martian.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh. Okay, moving on. Just 2-3 little tidbits on gaming, and then we'll go into the other stuff. Unless Cheetah has anything you want to add before I move on to gaming.
Tony Khan is a god. Cocaine.
About anything to do with film and TV, you stupid fuck.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it might have something to do with film and TV if it gets crazy enough. I don't know. I mean, whatever. No, just move on.
Tony Khan's been sharing his stash with James Mitchell.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay, moving on then. So, I didn't even realize up until, I think it was Gary that mentioned it, that Flashback was getting a sequel. Technically a third game, because they did make a sequel, but it was fucking awful. Flashback 2. I don't know if people remember the classic Flashback game.
Of course I do.
Yeah. Okay, it was in the vein of Prince of Persia and Another World.
Dragon's Lair sort of style, like if you get killed once, you start again and shit like that, So
yeah, so they made a kind of they've made a sequel to it in the same kind of vein as the original, but it's 2.5 5D games. So it's like
it's
a little
nothing.
bit of
It's not.
things
It's
like
not.
that.
Don't say
And
that.
it looks nice. It looks really nice. Like I thought, I was very excited about it. Then the review came out, and they've butchered it. It's broken. It's a broken piece of shit. It was so badly broken that Ubisoft looked at it and be like, oh, "This is outrageous. Nobody does better broken games than we do." IGN gave it a 2. That's how bad the game is. Okay.
Fuck me, IGN, the company that gives everything 7 out of 10, gave this thing a 2.
Yes.
I wonder if IGN ain't got the checks lately, because I'm like, lately these motherfuckers have been on point. I'm like, have y'all not gotten the checks yet? Like, what the fuck? Because
I'm telling you, IGN recently have been ruthless. With a lot of
yeah. I think they stopped giving a fuck. I think that's what's happened.
I think
no, it's the check hasn't arrived yet. That's what the fuck it is. The check hasn't came yet.
They have presenters on there that just rip shit into products now, and I'm just like, is this the same fucking company? Did they grow some balls and change management? Did they
Hell falls over the day they gave Modern Warfare 3 a fucking 4. I was like, what? I was like,
yeah,
huh? Yeah, what?
Yeah.
Call of Duty usually gets like an 8.
It's just a shame that, I mean, the game looks beautiful. It does. It looks like a really good follow up, but it's just awful. Like, it's broken. It's just broken. The presentation wasn't great, but so I was a bit heartbroken with that because, like, Flashback again, it's my top 25 favorite games of all time. And it's just annoying. Now, it's so telling of 2023. Like, just the gaming is so rare that people get it right, and it's just it's just annoying. That this is a company that. They just always this is an industry that always just produces garbage. Like, you'd never get a film come out with that's a lie, because you've got Disney films will come out with god awful special effects. So never mind, I'll take that back.
I was gonna say, did you see the intro to Secret Invasion?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, just frustrating. Now, Wonder Woman. So WB Games have been in the news lately because they're foaming at the mouth that they want to make everything live service. Must be live service. Zaslav comes in. I need more money because I don't make enough as it is. So milk the fuck out of everything. Well, thankfully, Wonder Woman isn't going to be a live service game. It's just going to be a single player game. It will adopt the Nemesis system, which I fucking don't know why. But the Nemesis system is like something that Warner Brothers patented, which they use in Lord of the Rings, Shadows of Mordor 2, I forget what it was actually called, which was out and out massively boring game, and I didn't care for the Nemesis system. But they're going to implement in this. It's not a live service. That doesn't mean there won't be some greedy shit in it, but at least we know it's not going to be like fucking Suicide Squad or anything like that, which is good. Yeah, it's good. Not Suicide Squad. It's good. It's just Wonder Woman. If it's more like Shadow of Mordor,
Wonder Woman might be away for a sale then on that approach, because Shadow of Mordor, it's a good game, but it's like a $10 good game. That's probably
the first one was excellent. No, the first one was spectacular. The second one was awful.
Yeah,
awful. It's just boring.
It'll still be away for a sale though. Like, I'll wait it out and see what it does, and if it's good.
Oh yeah. All games these days are just wait for a sale, unless it's a multiplayer that needs to be played there and then. But yeah. So
regarding Wonder Woman being a live service,
what's that?
How you mentioned that it's not a live service. Well, I mean, that kind of felt obvious because it is a fucking single player game. You're playing a fucking Wonder Woman. You know what I mean? If it was Justice League or something like that,
other greedy macros in there, like with costumes and all that kind of shit.
I just can't wait for the group shower scenes. That's what I want on Themyscira.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby. Let's go. Thongs and nothing else. And speaking of,
who said anything about thongs, man? Just
why would you say that?
Yeah, why did I say thongs?
They're beaver, man. Come on, it's Themyscira.
Get them muscly baps out. Okay,
hairy armpits guaranteed.
Xbox sales in Europe have basically collapsed. Nobody buying a fucking Xbox. They're down like fucking something or 20. I can't remember the percentage, but
I got $3.
Yeah, no one's buying an Xbox. And look, I if you watch one of my old videos, I said it when the Xbox was first announced and they were pimping the Game Pass. I said Microsoft doesn't give a shit about the console. They want people on the Game Pass.
Yep.
And because a lot of those games are coming out on PC as well, any of the exclusives are out on PC, and they're day oneing everything on the Game Pass, and that's their main goal. They have no intention of staying in the console wars. They're coming out. They might even not do another Xbox after this. I said the next one would be the last, but
case in point, Call of Duty coming to Game Pass next year. That tells you all you need to know.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I just Xbox just, but the funny thing is like people's reaction, the copium over it, and I'm like, why do you care? Like, it's gaming you should care about, not the fucking console. The console's irrelevant. Are the games good? On Xbox, there have been no exclusives that have stood out. Halo, they're like, oh yeah, it's good now. I'm like, good now? It came out 3 years ago. How's it good now? It's a bit late. Starfield came out and everyone's ditched that game now. Nobody's fucking playing it.
It's bollocks, man. Absolutely.
Forza's fucking Forza, and you're going to get what you get there with a racing game. So,
that game is a niche. Racing games are niche, in my opinion.
They are. Yeah, they are. They've gone down.
Yeah, it's a very niche crowd. That's.
I mean, Starfield is a typical Bethesda game. If you like Bethesda, it'll be for you. If you don't, if you did that, then I mean, to be honest, the best Bethesda game was Fallout New Vegas, and you just haven't embraced that fucking shit.
I don't even have expectations for Fable fucking 4, and we were looking forward to that too. I'm like, man, Fable 4, I think they're gonna fuck it up. I just got that feeling that they will.
Looking as well. So we do. I want the cartoony kind of look to it. I don't want the realistic characters. But yeah, Fable. Like, I love my Fable games. I love the trilogy. Fable 3 not as good as the first two, but I've got no faith in this. And they've bought Activision, and I'm like, okay, you people were cheering this. You're gonna see what happens.
Yep.
You know, they're gonna botch it somehow. They might get desperate.
And watch Sony be petty as fuck. Watch Sony just take the piss out of Xbox, because they're gonna do it too. They're gonna find a way to out petty Xbox. They're like Microsoft, like, oh, we got Activision. Sony will be like, bitch, we got exclusive. Shut the fuck up. And that's all that needs to be said. Like, that's how it's gonna go.
Yeah. And regarding Starfield, like, you know, in the moment I saw that game, I immediately thought Mass Effect. They brought nothing new to the table whatsoever, and yet even their exclusives are not that great. I think their most popular exclusive is Gears of War, and they haven't brought out a new Gears of War in my opinion. I think Gears of War surpasses Halo at this moment in time. They've got a whole fucking studio dedicated to that, you know. So if they haven't brought out a new Gears of War, no one's gonna give a fuck. And also on top of that, you don't need an Xbox anymore. If you got a good PC, you got an Xbox. Because like me and Jose, we've collabed together. Him on his Xbox, me on my PC. We play Gears of War together and shit like that. You know, like, you don't need an Xbox if you got a fucking PC.
No, just get out of the console game. Just get out of the console game. Leave it the fuck alone.
You can go on the Xbox software on your PC.
Yep.
And then you could play Xbox games and play with people on Xbox Live and shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. But that's their plan. That's their business model. So their model is to get out the console game and just go to streaming.
Yeah, but they want to sell consoles because they want to fucking make money in the day. So if they can do both, then great.
But they don't need a new console after this. Let Series X be it.
The Game Pass, and now that the Game Pass will be going on to PlayStation and things like that, which is part of one of the deals of, you know, with Call of Duty and all this kind of shit, you're just not going to need an Xbox at all. Microsoft are aware of this. They were aware of this the minute they announced the Game Pass next to the Xbox Series X. They knew this. And I knew it. I knew that was their plan all along. It's just they want to go into streaming games. That's their end game. That's their end goal. That's what they want. They don't want you to own anything. They just want you to fucking, you know, pay monthly subscription, stream games, blah, blah, blah.
So they can take it away from you whenever they want.
Yeah, that they can take away from you whenever
That's why I'm a big proponent of physical media. Like I just
100%. Yeah.
like I wouldn't.
Can I vent for a little
play
bit?
games if it wasn't for physical media.
Can I just say this one thing? Fuck Best Buy. Fuck you, Best Buy. I fucking hate you, you assholes. They're going to be taking away physical like DVDs and Blu-rays, which pisses me off because that makes me fear that video games are soon enough going to follow suit. And I'm like, man, damn it. I know we're going digital, but I don't want it to be this way.
Well, digital has overtaken physical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in porn and in media. I mean,
yeah.
But when it comes to the whole thing with digital and physical, why the hell is it that the digital copies are still costing the same as a physical one?
That's what I want to know because I'm like,
because money. They want to make it for cheaper and get you more the same money.
I was even talking with the Block yesterday, and we had that discussion too. We were like, why the fuck are they still having full price physical games? Like, there's nothing to ship. It's just code is really all you're getting out of it. And
so
Sony, it's money.
Sony are getting sued now because of that. PlayStation are getting sued because of the monopoly they have on their own marketplace. They charge developers 30% of profits, and digital copies are just ridiculously overpriced. They're more expensive in a lot of cases. And Sony's getting held to task on that.
Yeah.
So I hope they lose the case. I hope Sony loses the case, and because they're royal piss takers. Digital has no reason
to be $70,
the same price or more expensive than a physical copy. There's no fucking overhead. All right, so there's no excuse. It's just typical corporate greed. But here's what cracks me out as well. So with Sony. That fucking new PlayStation Portal that they released, which is a useless piece of shit, and yet it's still sold out. £200 of nothingness, and it's sold out. Like at this point in time, Sony are fucking up everywhere, but they're still winning, and it's just mental to see.
Spider-Man.
It was great.
It's Spider-Man and Spider-Man alone.
Yeah.
The thing is, they don't just have Spider-Man. You know what I mean? They've got great exclusives. They got
Ratchet and Clank. They've got Last of Us. Yep, they got God of War. They
Spider-Man.
Metal Gear used to be an exclusive. I don't think it's an exclusive anymore.
What used to be exclusive?
Metal Gear.
No, Metal Gear. Yeah, Metal Gear is going to come to everything now.
Well, that's Konami. Yeah. So they can choose what to do with that. But fuck, I lost my train of thought there. Sony exclusives.
But yeah, Sony's going to rule what my fear is that Sony's going to follow suit, and I fucking hope they don't, because I'm like, Sony, y'all need to keep making consoles. Y'all need to keep making the exclusive. That's what's keeping y'all afloat, is the fact that y'all have exclusives. You and Nintendo for that matter. But
even that's on borrowed time, because younger generations are they going to just go with PCs, because you can get good gaming PC for cheap anyway. But they're either going to go with PCs or they're just mobile gaming. Like fucking Monopoly Go came out. And I think, oh god, I don't even know. It's been within just a couple of weeks, it's made $1 billion.
Jesus.
So mobile gaming is still the future. Unfortunately, look, all this console stuff is on borrowed time. It dies with our generation, maybe. But game companies have no one to blame but themselves, because it's like they're digging their own grave. Because the industry's just gone to shit. The greed is out of control. And people are just gonna fucking end up like, oh, I don't know. It's just frustrates me.
Here's what's crazy. We've been in the microtransaction business for nearly 20 years with the start of fucking Xbox. This is all their fucking fault. Because ever since Xbox Live came out, that was the beginning of the end. When they said we're going to start charging motherfuckers for online, that was the beginning of the end.
Well, that was for online, but this all started with Bethesda when they charged fucking horse armor.
Yep.
And it just, since then, it's just been, the ball's been rolling. But the thing is, if you're a corporation and you know you're going to make money doing it, you're going to do it. Like, when you live in this dream world and you talk with your friends like, oh, if I own a game company, I'll make this game, make that game. I'd have a mobile phone division within that company as well, because I'd make mobile game versions of any game I make, because I know I can milk the fucking people, and that is going to fund all the other projects.
Mm-hmm. Mobile gaming alone will make you a billionaire.
Yeah, just mobile gaming. Like at the end, you just close your console division because it's too expensive. You're like, oh fuck, just make mobile games because people are idiots, just pissing their money away, and it's just like it's to our detriment. But corporations don't give a fuck.
No, for me, it was the very first time I ever saw DLC was SmackDown vs. Raw 09 on PS3. I was like, fuck, here we go. Now they're going to start doing DLC, and here we go. They're only going to get greedier, the bastards. And that's what companies have done ever since.
Oh, for sure. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's that on gaming. Anyone else want to add anything on gaming? Merry Christmas. No. Okay. Moving on. So we're going into politics now. So I don't know if anyone wants to still stick around or jump off. It's up to you lot.
All right. I think I will be jumping off.
Yeah,
so
I'm jumping off. Fuck that noise.
All right, guys.
I'll leave the Americans. Will leave the British to talk about the American.
Let you guys, talk about us and how trash we are. We're welcome to it.
Americans in it.
We also got European politics to talk about too, as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, y'all.
You can stay there for that. You know, you can shit on us for that if you like.
I mean, you guys do all the shitting for on yourself. So I mean,
yeah.
All right, guys.
You guys have some fun. See y'all later.
Catch you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Felicia's. Okay. All right. And then there were 4. So we're going to start off with the most egregious controversy of all, and that was that Zionists were triggered by an octopus on University Challenge. I don't know if you saw the news of this. There was an octopus as a mascot on University Challenge, and also the clothing that a woman was wearing, and it triggered Zionists beyond belief. Only problem is, because the octopus is like a symbol of like anti-Semitism, like
the blue octopus to be more precise.
Yeah. And the only issue with this is that the episode was filmed in March. They University Challenges is filmed in huge blocks between February and March. It's always been like that, or at least recently it's always been like that. And so they're watching something that was filmed months ago, and they all that faux outrage that was caused was, it just the level of paranoia is just hilarious. It's just
there were calls from members of the Conservative Party to have one of the students in particular expelled and arrested.
Yeah, which is just, that's just fascism. What is that? That's American bullshit. You don't fucking do that.
Like you said,
the free bullshit.
The episode was filmed back in March, a long time before the Israel-Gaza conflict. The top was not designed to look like a Palestinian flag. She bought it, I believe. What was the chain from? Was it Zara?
Zara, I think. Yeah, Zara.
Zara, yeah. Yeah, so they bought it from the chain Zara. It was widely available. So this is not something that was custom made as a statement. But again, this is how far people have been clutching. They went looking for offense for something that was just an innocuous, cuddly toy.
What's happening is like I was saying earlier before you came on, is the Zionists are sick in the head, and the level of paranoia is because they can't control the message anymore. The paranoia is just making them look like just even bigger fascists than what they are. They're just completely out of control. It's like they're on fucking like they smoke a shitload of weed and they've become completely paranoid over everything. And it's like to the point where you're getting triggered by an octopus. It's just fucking, I want to throttle these people. They drive me insane. These fascist fuckwits who are just happy to just fucking let genocide occur. Because go on, go sit over there.
Gids, did you watch Piers Morgan versus Owen Jones on that? on this issue.
Yep, I saw that.
Yeah. I watched it.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, Ollie Jones made some really good points. I don't agree with him on everything, but he made some solid points.
Well, Owen Jones is always like smashing it out of the park when it comes to this kind of stuff. Like anyone with an IQ of 5 and understanding of what's going on in the real world can smash the argument out of the fucking park. It's just, but the point is, it's just like they're losing the argument now. People just aren't sympathetic to the Israeli cause anymore because they see social media has helped them see it for what it really is. Like here, we're talking about, like, again, my brother was round because we were replacing an old fence of ours, and he has BBC Radio 4 on. I don't listen to the BBC because they're just Zionist propaganda. Well, they're right-wing propaganda, not just Zionist propaganda. But they were talking about Israel, and all the whole discussion was always about Israel's the victim, Israel this, the Israeli hostages, the Israeli soldiers dying, the Israeli this, Israel that. And not once did they talk about the Palestinian struggle, the genocide, the indiscriminate bombing, and all this kind of shit. It was always about Israel's the victim, Israel's the victim. And even my brother, who is very kind of like establishment mindset, even he's like, this is bullshit. This is absolute bullshit. We've seen what's going on. We've seen the massacre that's happening. And that's because, again, we have a lot of Muslim friends. We have where you grow up around where we grew up, you're just kind of privy to the facts when it comes to at least this kind of stuff and that. And it's just sad to see. Like, it's just like, yeah, wipe them out, forget about them. Who cares? Blah, blah, blah. Protect Israel at all costs because reasons. And it just, boggles my mind. Anyone else want to chime in?
Well, the BBC, I will say, has at least actually done some pushing back now when it comes to Israeli propaganda. Roz Atkins, for example, he did a very, very good job pushing back at Israeli propaganda with regard to when they were claiming that a hospital was a Hamas terrorist base, and all they had as evidence was 2 rusty guns. Well, initially it was like 1 rusty gun in the shot, and then the camera comes back, and suddenly there's a second one on the table.
That's right. Yeah.
They also noticed regarding the time of day, which was different to what was on the on the watch, which was on the soldier's hand, and so certain things wasn't panning out clearly enough regarding that because the time wouldn't resemble where they were that particular situation.
I think with the case of the watch, it was basically suggesting that it had been filmed several hours before the BBC had ever arrived. Because BBC and Fox, it was BBC and Fox News who were both given access to that hospital by the IDF. When it comes to the issue of the first of all, the outrage with regard to the University Challenge, I think, do we chalk this up to Zionism, or do we chalk this up to people just looking to take offense at anything and everything?
That,
because again, that is something that has gone on in many other aspects when it comes to politics. People looking for the slightest thing they can clutch to as that this is offensive to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, it ties into just standard, right wing paranoia or right wing's petty kind of shit to be offended by, for sure. But I think with this one there is such a high intensity of paranoia going around because they're losing the argument that they've become even more reactionary than they normally would be. Because it's not just that, there's other things as well. Just with, even minor things that have been talked about and it's just the reaction is to shut it down, shut anything down that doesn't toe the kind of pro-Israeli line. And I don't know, it could be what you say, it could be anything. Like,
the other thing I was going to talk about was with regard to controlling the narrative. The fact is, the internet has made it pretty much impossible for Israel to control the narrative like they would have done in the early 2000s. So we are seeing more and more footage from the ground because you've got, people have got access to recording devices just simply on your phone. People can record what's going on at the scene and upload it to the internet with no hassle or issues at all. We've got outlets such as Al Jazeera who have been reporting the other side, and they've been doing an excellent job. They've got some of the best journalists in the world working for them.
Yep.
And
they're so effective. They were so effective that even Saudi Arabia tried to shut them down.
You've also got certain outlets who traditionally have been pro-Israeli are not sticking to that line as much because Israel has had a track record of killing journalists.
Yep.
Yeah, lots of journalists, unfortunately.
What are we up to now? Is it 49 journalists that have died?
It's something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Funeral for a friend. That's right. Yes, we're very paranoid. Did you? That's a very anti-Semitic comment you said there. How dare you, girl?
I just want to add, because regarding how stupid the right wing are. Female rabbi Jessica Rosenberg, she spoke out against the genocide of Palestinians at a Biden press conference, and she got shouted down by lots of
they literally hissed at her.
Yeah, they did. And then when they got, because the clip of her we had was of her back, so nobody saw her face. But when you see her face, she's got a little bit of facial hair. She's got a little bit of a beard going on. And so immediately, because right wingers are fucking anti-trans, they started calling her a him, saying this person's a guy. All types of I don't want to say reputable, but I can never say that word properly anyway. But recognizable faces in right wing media like Megyn Kelly and so on were saying that this person is a man, when they were totally wrong, because this person is a woman who suffers from a medical condition that gives her like sort of male hormone sort of overdoses within her body, and so she ends up growing facial hair and shit like that. And so shaving it all the time, she's embracing it and just letting the fucking hair stay there. So this person is actually a woman. She's not fucking trans. And the right wing media are calling her fucking trans, calling this person a man, saying this, all of this sort of shit to go with their gender. And they're not even fucking doing their research anymore. They're just coming up with assumptions. They're just making an assumption.
When did the right wing ever do any of the research?
No, I agree, but they're just a whim, just like, okay, this woman's got a beard, has to be trans, like they just not even. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Just on a side note, I mean the explosion at the U.S.-Canadian border at the Rainbow Bridge, Fox News initially reported that as a terrorist incident with no evidence at all. Yeah, they reported that as these people had packed a car full of explosives. And they had detonated. When actually what had happened was it was two people from New York who I believe they were planning to go to a Kiss concert, and they wound up crashing into a curb and flipping the car over.
I shouldn't laugh, bless, but fucking hell! Imagine that, just deriving a terrorist attack out of just a car accident.
Also, by the way, so regarding that rabbi lady, hoping that maybe some of these right wing outlets would, come out with an apology saying that they were wrong. Whether they do or not, I don't.
They're not.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the irony is like you're calling Jewish people like anti-Semitic. It's just like fuck off. You know.
There's so many Jews who are fucking anti-Israel. So many, you know what I mean? Yeah. And we're talking all types from non-Orthodox to Orthodox Jews, and during all these marches we had marches today. There were loads of people standing outside 10 Downing Street and around Westminster today. Yeah, it's just not, it's never ending, and there's loads of Jewish people, maybe Israelis even, all standing alongside all various other types of people protesting for the rights of Palestinians. This is a losing battle consistently, and I don't think governments really know what the fuck to do about it. They are, they're trying to ban things, but it's not happening either.
Yeah, I mean, look what's happened within the Labour Party. there's been a mass exodus. They're going to lose the Muslim vote in the upcoming election. That was always a guarantee for them, but now they're going to lose that. Tower Hamlets had a by-election, and the person that won had just resigned from the Labour Party a month ago. Helped run as an independent with other ex-Labour members, and they not only did they win, they smashed Labour in Tower fucking Hamlets by 44. They got 44.6% of the votes. They absolutely smashed Labour, because the people are pissed off with Starmer's anti. But I mean, there's a huge Islamophobia within the Labour Party since Starmer's taken over. That was even mentioned in the Ford report, and that. But people are just fed up with it. They're just this is the hill. This is a political hill that you're going to die on because you're taking money from Israeli lobbyists, and Starmer should resign over this because you're pro-genocide, and that's unacceptable. Anything else on that?
Well, with regard to Israel, we've got the 4-day ceasefire that started today, I believe.
Yes, but people have already been getting shot during the ceasefire. Not Israel. Anything.
The ceasefire has been broken by Israel, by the way.
There's been some hostages released on both sides. So the Hamas have released, I believe it's 20-something hostages. I can't remember if it's the Red Cross or if it's Qatar who are acting as the middlemen to facilitate their transport back to either side. But Israel, I know, has also released a number of Palestinian prisoners, who mostly women and teenagers.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, on TikTok, and this was exposing the propaganda. Apparently, and this is why it's bullshit. Israelis have been kidnapped by Hamas on Chancery fucking Lane in London, which is absolutely fucking stupid. And there's people have been. Yeah, I was watching this on TikTok earlier, and people are slapping pictures on lampposts saying that this Israeli's been kidnapped. I mean, like, this shit would make the fucking news. It would make the fucking news. Yeah, but no. We end up having like missing pictures on fucking lampposts. Instead, Hamas don't give a fuck about the United Kingdom. All they want, people equate Hamas to ISIS and all these other fucking groups like Al Qaeda. No, all they give a fuck about is fucking Palestine and Israel. That's their whole fucking agenda.
Hamas aren't even in the West Bank, and yet the people in the West Bank are having their properties seized and being massacred en masse. And Israel hasn't a leg to stand on as to why they're doing what they're doing in the West Bank. And that's why they want you to focus on Gaza.
We have Israeli officials as well on TV, and even in the opposition parties, act openly saying that they want genocide.
Yeah. They want
Gaza flattened, and they want the people out.
Yeah. Yeah, American politicians have been saying that too.
We're talking though about Israel, the idea that there could be any kind of peaceful coexistence between the Palestinians and the Israelis for a one-state solution.
I agree, but the only calling for open genocide. The bravado of Israel is only because they've got America backing them. If America wasn't backing them, they wouldn't be so fucking, they wouldn't think the fucking sun shines out their ass. But there are a lot of Americans who want fucking Palestine and Gaza turned into a parking lot themselves. And I'm not sure if you guys seen recently, there was this one particular politician who was part of the Obama administration, if you know a friend would love that, who was harassing this street vendor in New York. Have you guys seen those clips?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he got arrested for it.
I was kind of surprised he actually got arrested, to tell you the truth, because he could just say he's doing his First Amendment right. But then again, it is harassment at the same time. But when you start,
there's a lot of hate speech in there. But I just want to show you,
it's still First Amendment, isn't it? Though. So I mean, that's why Nazis able to fucking be.
It wasn't an elected politician, by the way. It was Stuart Seldowitz, who was one of
He was an
Obama's aides.
advisor. Yeah,
He was an advisor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I just want to show you guys this. This is a really good, tragic comparison. But for people that don't that get offended when you call like Zionist Nazis, just want to show this, and then we can go back to the thing. I'm just going to play it. So I'll read the subtitles in case people can't see here. So it's saying, "Are you Arab?" Yes, I'm Arab. Only Jews walk here. Captain decided. Yeah, I mean that's I know that's only a short clip, but that's what goes on in all of Israel. If you're an Arab, you're treated the same way Jews were treated in Nazi Germany, and I get very vexed when people get triggered by drawing that comparison, because there is no other comparison to be drawn.
People are getting offended by the term concentration camp because obviously Jews were kept in one during the Second World War. But this is what's going on with Palestinians in fucking Gaza and Israel, so and Palestine. So the terminology is apt. So I don't know why they're getting so fucking upset by it.
The other comparison is, of course, South Africa, where blacks were not allowed to walk on certain streets.
Yep.
Even though they were the majority population.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same kind of shit. It's the same fucking treatment. It's the same bullshit. Like you can't sit there and get offended with the truth. The reality is that's what Israel is. And the sad part is look, the end game will be Gaza. It's just going to get there is going to be no. Within the next 20 years, it's just going to be Israel. There'll be no Gaza. There'll be no West Bank, because there's nobody going to stop.
There'll be no Palestinians.
There'll be no Palestinians. They'll get shoved into some other country. They'll probably get forced into Egypt, and they're under the threat of being blown up if they don't fucking take the hostages.
They're going to get killed, man. They're going to get killed.
They're going to get massacred.
That's the whole point of this whole operation now, to kill them. And I've seen so many clips of children being killed, and it's unbelievable, man. It's unbearable.
When you pull out, like the guy that pulled out the baby out the back of the ambulance, the baby's arm is gone, its head is gone, and it's just showing. And the Israelis say that we're the ones massacring babies when they're actually doing it, and it's just like,
and a lot of people know this. They see the thing when you confront people with this shit. They don't want to second guess what they've been indoctrinated with. They don't want to. Like that, and unfortunately, American politicians will stand by Israel no matter what they fucking do, regardless of them having a left or right wing government. I mean, they'll just stand by Israel for that.
I mean, a lot of people pointed out that the fact that they've shut off powers to the hospital has been that a lot of babies have died prematurely. So basically, how many infants have died in that? So I'm sorry, the whole beheaded babies thing. People could kiss my ass about that shit. Sorry.
Oh, that was one of the. It was one of the sickest PR moves by Israel was when after the news had gone out that hospitals had to remove babies from incubators in the ICU and had to treat them in the ICU unit without the use of incubators because they had no power. That Israel then
you cut out there.
Yeah, I think I cut out there for a moment. Issues with my main microphone, and it's picking up microphone on these headphones. But when Israel then decided that they were going to bring in as aid incubators, well, the lack of incubators wasn't the problem. It was the fact they couldn't power them.
Yeah.
But again, this whole thing with you mentioned the fact that, again, babies being blown to pieces. Again, this is what was going on. The fact that this is happening in a modern world, and we're all standing by and just watching it, and it all winds up being dismissed. Piers Morgan's favorite line of, "Doesn't Israel have a right to defend itself?"
Yeah, that's been the line the whole time. It's just like,
lines.
Don't the Palestinians have a right
to defend itself?
Who is the bigger terrorist, Hamas or the Israeli government? I wonder. And it's not just that. Hamas, again, the evidence has shown how the West helped prop Hamas. They did a lot of shit. They even funded fucking Hamas as well to make sure they became the sole power because they're an easier propaganda tool to work with than legitimate liberation organizations, because they know Hamas is a terrorist organization. They've done it everywhere all over the world. They have armed militants all over the fucking world. Hamas is no different. And Netanyahu even said in 2019, he goes, he's happy with Hamas. They're a useful tool to push his agenda with. And, so these people are just like, I've lost my train of thought. Anyway.
No, but I'm just, but regarding America, like, it sure does seem that over the last few decades that they have constantly funded people who end up being terrorists, so to speak. Osama bin Laden being one of them. Literally. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not sure if Daniel Vance is still here, but he mentioned about people. If anyone's seen the letter he wrote after 9/11 to America.
Yeah, this was bin Laden's letter to America. The fact it was doing the rounds on TikTok. A number of people were posting reactions to it.
Now, a lot of people had were like kind of having their head turned a little bit. Look, my head wasn't turned. Osama bin Laden can write that letter. Yeah, it don't mean shit. Yeah, I mean, I understand about your situation regarding Israel, but still, you ended up doing one of the worst atrocities within America. I mean, there's been lots of.
He killed thousands of innocent civilians. He didn't target a military facility. He didn't target defense infrastructure. He deliberately targeted civilians.
Yeah. So that letter doesn't mean shit.
Fuck anyone who's trying to say that the letter from America was deeply profound, and it gave they gained a whole new perspective.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm kind of surprised that so many people read that letter and thought, okay, you're making a good excuse now regarding why you fucking killed all those people. Which there's no excuse. There isn't one. It's fucking ridiculous. So I'm very pissed off with a lot of people who gave Osama bin Laden a fucking pass there. I know you have your issues with Israel. Lots of fucking Muslims do. You know what I mean? But that wasn't the right way to fucking do it. That wasn't the right way to fucking do it at all. Fucking hell. The right way to do it right now is what. Sorry, the right way to do it is what people are doing now by making it known that no one's fucking standing by Israel right this very moment. Everyone's behind the Palestinians. Majority of people are, Jewish people included. So this is the way to do it. So. Yeah,
if you were to do it the right way, we would be treating Israel similar to how many Western democracies treated South Africa during apartheid. Apartheid ended in South Africa because they were an economic pariah. That's the only reason that F.W. de Klerk finally decided that he was going to start negotiating with the ANC. He was going to release Nelson Mandela, and he was going to bring an end to the apartheid. It was self-preservation by the whites in South Africa.
But
and that's what would happen if Israel were sanctioned and became a pariah on the international stage.
And the funny thing is, this sort of like mindset was also used on countries like Saudi Arabia as well. That even though we did business with them, we weren't like doing anything regarding oil and stuff like that. Nobody was propping Saudi Arabia up nowadays, because people's minds have been twisted and shit like that, and people are able to get bought. And Saudi Arabia's got a lot of fucking money. We have football leagues there now, boxing fucking matches there now, wrestling fucking there now. Everything's fucking happening. They're even going down the tourism route.
My biggest fear with Saudi Arabia is getting their claws into sports, all sports. And there's a legitimate threat that they could have a huge influence on FIFA and UEFA and really fucking move the needle. And I hate it. They've taken over golf now. Like they've taken PGA even sold out to them after the whole Live Golf thing. So the Saudis practically own golf now. don't put it past them to fucking take other sports and completely own them. And people just let it happen because there's money. They love the money. I loathe these fucking assholes that are sitting there going, "Oh, take a stand against Black Lives, for Black Lives Matter, and it's a rally against homophobia and no to racism and all this kind of shit." And at the same time, you're sitting there taking blood money from fucking these countries that will murder these people. You know what I mean? And it's just, it's so frustrating. There are no morals. Capitalism is amoral. It's just about money, money, money. They don't give a shit. It's complete fucking hypocrisy. And Saudi Arabia, the majority of the hijackers for 9/11 were Saudis.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's a fucking huge alarm bell, and there were no repercussions for the Saudi government whatsoever. I said we just fucked off to obviously Afghanistan and then Iraq, the Saudis got away with it.
But Ginger, that would be unfair because they're private citizens. It'd be like if, let's say, for example, 7 people from Coventry went to maybe Texas and started shooting up the place. People will come over here to blame us on it, would they?
No, but the thing is, the questions need to be asked. Like, you're talking about a police state that is Saudi Arabia, okay? And you're telling me they weren't fucking monitoring anyone. There's like, I'm not here to get into paranoid territories and all of that, but let's put it this way: a lot of countries have a history of doing crazy shit. And when 11 Saudi nationals are taking part in a terrorist attack, and there was no investigation into Saudi Arabia and how it happened, it's just frustrating.
I mean, I will agree partly with Gary here. The fact is the large majority of them were Saudi nationals. If we remember, Bin Laden was actually a member of the elite ruling class, and he was just LARPing as a man of the people. And this idea that he was this terrorist freedom fighter, as he called himself. When again, he was a terrorist, but he was a member of the ruling class who was LARPing. But when it came to the fact of where it wasn't, I don't believe that the Saudis were financing Al Qaeda. I think you had individuals like obviously Osama bin Laden who had a lot of money behind him. You had Al Qaeda largely was operating out of Afghanistan at the time. So Afghanistan was probably the right target to go after if you were hunting for bin Laden. Now, do I think questions maybe should have been asked of the Saudis? Absolutely. Do I think the same as I think that questions should have been asked of the Pakistanis when bin Laden was found in a compound there? Yeah, there should have been questions asked because he was in one of the wealthiest estates that there was. Yeah. And he was what was that? He was what, only a half a mile away from a large military base there.
Yep. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Again, I'm not. It's the fact that there were no repercussions for Saudi Arabia. Yeah, Afghanistan, I understand. Okay, fine.
But that's fair enough. Regarding Saudi Arabia,
what?
Regarding Saudi Arabia, like other countries, kind of like were the stepping stone for Saudi Arabia to get so much involvement by Western society in the first place. And I'm talking about United Arab Emirates, for instance, which is basically mini Saudi Arabia to a degree. Dubai, Abu Dhabi. I've been to those countries, by the way, when they're developing, covered in cash. They got fucking police officers driving around in Lamborghinis. You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy. How much money's in there, and yet that country has its own forms of corruption as well. For instance, they do camel racing in Saudi Arabia. Sorry, in United Arab Emirates, and the camels are treated like first-class citizens. The jockeys are not. They tend to be young children taken away from countries like Pakistan and India, sent there, kept in shitty environments, totally malnourished as well, but they want to be kept as light as possible. So when they're riding these fucking camels, the camels have got a better chance of fucking winning. This shit has been spotlighted by journalists who've done that. Nothing happens out there because the police are under the thumbs of the fucking, royal families and the hierarchy within that. So when the police are called in to expose all this shit, the only people getting arrested are the fucking journalists. And this is happening in Dubai, a country that is, that people go on holiday to all the fucking time and visit all the fucking time. And it's seen to be the liberal Middle Eastern fucking country, even though you can get arrested for fucking kissing and shit like that. You know what I mean? And women who've been raped out there get arrested as well. They're not the fucking guy who done the fucking raping. So with Dubai being the way it was, and the United Arab Emirates being the way it was never going to be too long a time until certain other Middle Eastern countries, which are similar to that, to UAE, were also going to be involved in the fucking mix. So I'm not surprised that, countries like Qatar and fucking Saudi Arabia are going to be hosting World Cups and shit like that. I'm not surprised at all. So.
Yeah.
I just hope there's a boycott. I mean, there have been people who have boycotted events in Saudi Arabia on principle. There was a female chess grandmaster. I'm probably going to butcher the name. It was Anna Muzachuk is her name. I'm sorry if I butcher the pronunciation of the surname, but I know a few years back she did boycott a championship tournament in Saudi Arabia, which was paying more money than what previous tournaments had. But she refused to go in principle because she'd be required to be escorted everywhere by a male. She would be very, very heavily restricted. She would have to wear a hijab, which she was not prepared to do. And she refused outright to go. And it's the same previously. I mean, previously there's been people involved in WWE who have refused to go to Saudi Arabia. And again,
Cena was one after he first went, then he said he wasn't going to go anymore. And now he fucking went recently.
He came back for the most recent one. But again, there's others who have previously said they just will not go, and I have nothing but respect for them for doing that. I respect them more than the people like, say, again, Lita, who previously condemned the Saudi regime, but then took the money to go and work with Becky Lynch over there.
Yeah, is Finn Balor gone by any chance?
Oh God, I don't know if Balor has gone.
I don't think he's gone.
Because I know he's he supports the LGBTQ community. He's been very vocal about it in the past.
Yeah. Balor might be actually. I know Rob Van Dam has refused to go to places like that.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He's fucking. He's yesteryear, man. And when he's current.
Oh no, Balor has been to Saudi.
Oh, he has, yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. That is a shame.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. But, yeah.
Daniel Bryan refused to go to Saudi, though.
Yeah, he was very vocal about it. Sami Zayn, though, I think Sami Zayn, he was banned from going.
He was banned. Yeah. He was banned. Kevin Owens.
He's Syrian, isn't he?
He's of Syrian descent, yes. Kevin Owens refused to go out of solidarity.
Yeah.
So.
And now Sami Zayn is all good now. You know what I mean? They love him there.
Well, they don't have Mansoor anymore, so they needed somebody Arab speaking to go out there.
Yeah, that's what I thought Mansoor was actually Saudi Arabian, but he's not. He's a Qatari.
He's from Qatar. Yeah.
No, yeah. Right. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was Saudi Arabian. I love Mansoor. I love him. He's so funny. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Yeah, we'll move on now.
Aleister Black, I believe, was also banned from the country too.
Banned
because of the tattoos, or
I can't remember the full story.
Those are wrestlers got tattoos. Fucking Mysterio's covered in them.
Yeah. So that doesn't make sense. What I said.
It might be. I don't know. Maybe.
Demonic, maybe because of demonic tattoos.
It could be because. It could be because. Yeah, it could be because of his demonic persona. I don't know.
I think it could be that the kind of witchcrafty demonic stuff.
Yeah, because I know Rusev. Well, Miro was somebody who he went once and he refused to go back.
Yeah, after the whole debacle.
No, it was even after like the first show, because after the first show, there was the whole thing with the killing of Jamal Khashoggi.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
See,
That's when Cena had refused to go back.
Yeah, but they're all really pick and choose, because like Eminem, for instance, he was at the Tyson Fury boxing match, and Eminem in his previous videos is dressed up as a fucking woman. They don't give a fuck, do they? I mean, like, they really do fucking pick and choose. So stupid. You know, there he is hugging fucking Elton John when they were singing fucking Stan and shit like that. You know, a gay guy in solidarity with him. Like, what? So fucking.
Yeah. What was a mind trying to make sense of it? All right, let's move on. Space Karen, Elon Musk. For those that don't know, we call him Space Karen. Look, I could just put his name here, and there's always going to be something that comes up. Shredder, you want to take this one?
Yes, he's suing Media Matters for pointing out that adverts were placed next to Nazi content on Twitter. Because Media Matters published a report. They had set up, they had an account which had been active for, I think, about 30 odd days before they launched the report. It was also following about 30 different accounts on the site. And Media Matters published a report showing a lot of big companies having their adverts placed next to openly pro-Nazi posts. So we're talking things that were praising Hitler. So the first company to pull out was IBM. They ended their sponsorship with Twitter just shortly after Media Matters published their article. Douche Wayne then decided he was going to amplify a Nazi tweet. Some asshole posted something which was not dissimilar to the motivation of the Tree of Life synagogue shooter, where he said the guy had posted saying that Jews were responsible for causing anti-white hatred.
Is that the one where he responded with "You speak the truth"?
Yes, you speak the absolute truth. So as soon as Musk had amplified that, and that had made the news, a whole bunch of other companies decided to start pulling adverts, and we're talking major corporations. So Warner Brothers Discovery was one of them, Comcast, Paramount, Lionsgate. The biggest was probably Apple.
Yeah.
So Apple pulled out, and their advertising was immediately suspended, and Sony eventually pulled out as well. The latest to pull out, I believe, has been Paris Hilton's media company. She's got a company called 1111 Media, and they only a month ago she had announced an exclusive deal with Twitter, and that's gone. She's pulled out.
Yeah. She's yesterday's news. Like, kids today don't give a fuck about a 40-plus-year-old fucking Paris Hilton. I mean, she's not going to get the young people involved in Twitter, which Elon Musk was thinking about. But it does take anti-Semitism, blatant anti-Semitism for people to finally pull out of Twitter, because there have been Nazis there before. I mean, people are openly Nazi, not necessarily being anti-Semitic, but definitely being pro-Nazi. And then you've got people, obviously, who are being Islamophobic, being racist towards other religions, other cultures, stuff like that. Fucking not many people pulling out. Now you go down the anti-Semitism route, fucking Apple are pulling out. Everyone who give Elon a lot of money are pulling out, because honestly, that's all that fucking matters to some people, the anti-Semitism. And the ironic thing is, the funny thing is, you got people like, the quartering man bear pig, as you mentioned, and I like to call him the quarter pounder, and Tim Pool, trying to raise money for Elon Musk, giving the richest man in the world money, which is so fucking stupid. To basically
it's like
help
trying
him.
To piss out it's like trying to piss out a house fire.
But the guy spent £40 billion on Twitter. He's still the fucking richest man in the fucking world. You would think losing that much fucking change in buying out a company would stop you from being the richest man in the world, but he is still the richest man in the world. He has got
it wasn't all his money.
No, you're right, but he's still got more money than he'll ever need, and you got all these fucking cucks who are simps towards him, you know, like Fool and fucking Quartering, giving him money. You know, what they raised, like £250,000 or dollars.
Look,
I mean,
it's
fuck all.
It's not like SpaceX and Tesla. He can't ask the government for bailout like he's done with those two companies. He can't ask for handouts. You know, he's just not going to get it with Twitter because it doesn't serve something beneficial as they would make the excuse, like Tesla did, say, for jobs and all of that, and all this bullshit. So yeah, it's frustrating because Twitter is a very handy tool. It's fantastic for getting a lot of good politics out there that you just would not on any other platform. Because Facebook, forget it, their suppression is just out. You know, I hold them solely responsible for a lot of the anti-vax stuff that got out around, and a lot of the misinformation that traveled around. I hold them highly responsible, along with Google, more so than Twitter, because Twitter, you know, it has its share of bullshit, but a lot of people were able to see the counter arguments there. Whereas on fucking Facebook, it's just been a free-for-all. So
I would agree with you, but Twitter has now got to the stage where it is taken over as a greater source of misinformation than Facebook, or even, I would say, even likes of InfoWars.
Yeah, for sure. There's more reach.
Now, back then, you know, now, yes.
Yeah, but you're talking pre-Musk takeover.
Yes. Yeah, but what I'm saying... But just for now, like, even for now, because, yeah, I mean, the whole COVID stuff happened before Musk came in. But now, for example, a lot of the atrocities being caused by Israel, all of it's been seen on Twitter. You're not seeing none of it on Facebook. You're not seeing none of it on Instagram. TikTok is basically just banning everything. TikTok just does not fucking care. They just indiscriminately banning anything fucking remotely. Well, anything they want. They don't really give a shit and that. And it's a sad tool to lose. Sorry, in the long run with Twitter, because now it's just become a fucking Nazi shithole. And it's a shame because, like I said, with all that bullshit that's out there, you still got all the good stuff that's on the platform that is really useful in bringing out the truth. And that's why it shouldn't really be owned by anyone. It should be like a public utility, Twitter, funded by, I don't know, whatever, US government, UK government, or some fucking like that. It's because it's a useful tool for everyone. But now it's just Nazi bigoted shithole.
Well, with regard to the losses that Twitter has made with advertisers pulling out, you mentioned Dim Fool, Man Bear Pig, and the other one is, I believe it's Seth Dillon of the Babylon Bee. Three of them are the biggest ones so far, who've all said that they're going to buy advertising space on Twitter to make up for the losses that Twitter's made from all these companies pulling out. So Seth Dillon and Tim Pool have both committed to $250,000. I believe Man Bear Pig, he's committed to about $25,000. But here's the thing: $525,000 over several months means nothing compared to what's been lost. Apple's revenue annually on Twitter for advertising was $100 million. To put that into perspective, the Daily Wire would have to spend their entire annual revenue just to match that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and it's so funny. And once again, it just makes me laugh that these fucking simps are raising money for the guy who's got the most amount of money in the world.
Again, it's like your house is on fire and you're trying to piss it out.
Yeah. I think what I would love to see is if the company just becomes so like invaluable, like just no value, like just costs absolute peanuts, and Jack Dorsey just buys it back. Which would be, you know, hilarious that, you know, he sold the company for $44 billion and he buys it back for something stupid like $2 billion or something like that.
The thing is, as well, that $100 million that Apple was spending on advertising, that was about 4% of Twitter's annual advertising income.
No,
I don't think
it's a significant amount.
That's a
I don't
huge
think there's
amount.
any chance of Musk selling Twitter, in my opinion. Not a chance in hell, because he loves Twitter. He loves Twitter. To him is the most important thing of all the shit that he owns. More important than SpaceX. More important than fucking Tesla. More important than fucking. But he just likes to get around, and he wants people kissing his fucking ass. You know, and that's what he loves the most.
If he's hemorrhaging money, he's not going to keep it. He's not. There's no point. It's just what's he going to do? Like, what kind of billionaire would spend their own money?
How much money does he need to hemorrhage for it to be a real issue for the richest man in the world?
It's
because
already
if he's
hemorrhaging
money and he's still the richest man in the world, and you can't be hemorrhaging that much to really affect him.
Well, now that all the advertisers have pulled out, we'll start to see it hemorrhaging even more money. I mean, it was already in the hole when Jack Dorsey sold it. Like, Twitter wasn't making money.
But I look at this as more of a play thing than the business thing, because he was already stinking rich with so many other things outside of Twitter. So this is just his fucking toy.
But do you not think it was maybe like a place to try and push out messages he agreed with? I mean, because we all know that Elon has sympathies that are more towards far right wing stuff.
Yeah, for sure. But
it's about the whole argument about why billionaires buy newspapers. They don't buy them to make money. They buy them to put out messages. That's what Elon Musk has done with Twitter. This is Jeff Bezos in the New York Times or Rupert Murdoch in his media group.
What he also likes as well, he likes the brown nosing from because when it comes to the right wing, what they do is they worship people. They genuinely do. They hold them accountable. That's why Trump has a cult of fucking dickheads following him off a fucking cliff, because they'll worship you. And Elon Musk is no different. There's so many people who genuinely worship him. Even people who are successful today, like Dim Fall. Dim Fall, without doubt, is one of Elon Musk's biggest fucking simps. And the guy's fucking minted and he's sorted for life. But he would still want to fucking have his dick up at Elon Musk's ass if he had the opportunity to. Because he wants
one of the brain chips from Daddy Elon. As he's on record saying he would get a brain chip from Daddy Elon.
I hope he does. He was given an excuse to take that fucking beanie off for a moment. You know what I mean? But regardless, he that's why he's taking this right wing turn, because he was all about things like world peace and climate change and shit like that. But when he started noticing that people on the right were fucking kissing his ass, that's the fucking route he went down, because they always kiss his ass. People like us, when people on our side of the political spectrum fall apart or start doing stupid things, Pat Condell being a prime example, we hold these motherfuckers accountable. We're saying, what the fuck's wrong with you? We don't keep kissing their ass and agreeing with them. People on the right, they're totally different. They'll fucking, they'll fucking, the worse you are, the more they fucking like you.
Well, it depends. I mean, the right will fight amongst themselves. Look at Candace Owens currently having a very open spat with Ben Shapiro at the Daily Wire. So, but with regard to Twitter,
I agree, but there's some issues, in my opinion, that have split the left and right, where the left and the right are on either side of that issue, which is Israel-Palestine. There are people on the right and the left who are Israel, people on the right and the left who are Palestine. It's a very, very unique situation.
Yeah, but and again, we're on the same side for different reasons. So we for example, are on the side of the Palestinians, as is Nick Griffin. But with Nick Griffin's case, it's because he wants Jews wiped from the face of the earth.
Yeah, I agree.
So, we're on the same side, but for very, very, very different reasons.
It makes me laugh as well sometimes when people don't equate, being Caucasian, white, that is, with people who are Jewish, because I've always looked at race, religion, nationality as three different things. So even if you are fucking Jewish, if you look white, then you're fucking white, regardless of being Jewish or Christian or Catholic or Hindu or fucking Buddhist, whatever. Your race is fucking white. And so that's why people like Tommy Robinson, in my opinion, are fucking pro-Israel. He doesn't give a fuck about the religious aspects of things. He just gives a shit about the skin color. And a lot of fucking Jews look like him. and that's all he gives a fuck about. But they don't look like fucking Muslims who look like me.
So just quickly to say, Twitter 2021 this goes up to, but their annual operating expenses was 5.5 billion. That's how much it costs to run Twitter in 2021. And I remember
is around about $200 million a month now. And that's after Musk made all his cuts, and he's still losing money.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So he's not, there is no fucking chance he's going to keep this thing if it's going to be losing in billions a year. Like, that's just not how billionaires operate. So I'll give it, I don't know. Well, again, burn it to the ground or sell it.
Again, look at how much money Rupert Murdoch has lost over the years with News International. Again, he doesn't operate that to make money. He operates that to get his message out there. Same as the Rothermeres have done with regards to the Telegraph. We're
not talking billions in operating losses here. There's a difference. Like,
but again, the Murdochs, Rupert Murdoch, for example, doesn't have billions and billions that he can lose. Musk does.
Yeah, I mean, he was the first 40 billion for Twitter.
Yeah, to a degree.
Well, again, Musk didn't spend $40 billion. I think it was something in the region of about 15 of his own money that went into it.
Okay.
He used a consortium to fund the rest of it.
No, yeah, fair enough. But $15 billion just to throw away on a fucking social media site. I mean,
but again, look at how much he pisses away in SpaceX.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
they get government subsidies.
Yeah, he gets government subsidies.
So, a genuine question, right? Do you think the action will be successful? Because the thing is,
fuck no.
I don't think so, because they could literally just show the screenshots of
the lawsuit
of everything.
The lawsuit, no. Yeah. Do I think the lawsuit will be successful? Absolutely fucking not. Now, the fact is, Musk is looking to try and tie up Media Matters in court as long as he can. This is him trying to make sure they spend millions of dollars defending themselves. Now, the thing is, he's got a number of lawmakers around the country, Trump-appointed lawmakers around the country, who are looking to try and see if they can also take action against Media Matters. I want to find the quote. It was from a lawmaker in Texas. I think it was Ken Paxton. I'll pull this up at some point, but the fact is, the lawsuit was absolutely ridiculous. The filing was ridiculous. Twitter has admitted that yes, there were advertisements next to pro-Nazi posts. They're saying that Media Matters manipulated the data, which Media Matters didn't say. Well, they said that Media Matters claimed this was widespread. Well, Media Matters didn't claim this was widespread. They just said this happened. We found adverts next to pro-Nazi content. Here they are.
Through screenshots. They have screenshots of it. Yeah.
Again, I'm trying to find the. I'm trying to find the quote from the Texas lawmaker.
I'm very sorry, guys. I need to go. I need to get to bed.
Okay, no problem, Sam.
And I'll see you guys later.
Catch you
later. Oh yeah, here we go. Right, can I? I've got the quote here. Yeah, it was Republican Attorney General Ken Paxton of Texas. On Monday, he said that he had opened an investigation into Media Matters for potentially fraudulent activity over their allegations about Twitter. His office released a statement claiming calling the liberal group a radical anti-free speech organization. He also vowed to ensure that the public has not been deceived by the schemes of radical left-wing organizations who would like nothing more than to limit freedom by reducing participation in the public square. So yeah, he's got absolutely no bias when he's opening up that investigation.
Oh, no bias at all.
No bias at all. And again, this lawsuit is utterly ridiculous. The fact is, again, he's making claims of what Media Matters said, which just aren't true. Media Matters didn't say this was a widespread problem. They just said, look, we found Nazi advertising. Well, we found advertising next to pro-Nazi posts. Other people have been able to verify this as legitimate because shortly after Musk announced that he was posting he was going to be suing Media Matters. There were a bunch of right-wing hashtags that were posting, which included, a bunch of right-wing hashtags that were trending, which included Heil Hitler. So Heil Hitler was trending on Twitter, along with things like Gas the Jews, White Power, 14 Words, various other Nazi hashtags wound up trending. And next to the posts, here's some of the companies that people found being advertised. So they found the Telegraph newspaper, Zion Oil and Gas. There was an AI service on how to make the most out of ChatGPT. Dating.com was on there. The fast food chain Jack in the Box was advertised. There was the USA Today, the eBay account for the Collector's Emporium, that was advertised there. There were various adverts for games to purchase on Steam. Lifeline Screening Healthcare Company was advertised next to Heil Hitler. There were several adverts for various books and publishing companies. There were online German language courses. There was an advert for L. Brent Bazel III's website where he was promoting an anti-Soros, anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. But the one I think genuinely was the most disturbing, and it's the one that I hope their government has taken action on, is that there was an official advert from the German government appearing next to posts with the hashtag Heil Hitler, encouraging people to come and work and live in Germany. No. Twitter has effectively confirmed that yes, these adverts appear on there. They say it's not deliberate. It's just that their tools when it comes to putting adverts up can't distinguish between pro-Nazi posts and regular posts when they put these adverts up.
Yeah, so, that's because he sacked the people that used to
he sacked the online safety team.
All of that. Yeah,
he sacked the online safety team, the people who would review these kind of posts and take this shit down.
Yeah,
but so, again, this is something that was incredibly stupid for them to do when it came to again, Musk threat. He posted initially, it was like a screenshot of a Microsoft Word document that either he or someone in Twitter offices had typed up, where he announced he was going to sue Media Matters. And it was very, very stupid of them. I mean, Media Matters even said, why on earth did they think it was a good idea to admit that they had adverts next to pro-Nazi posts?
Yeah.
And it's definitely not going to get to court, because guess what will happen if it does? The discovery process. And what do you think Media Matters is going to be asking, or having their legal representation at least asking for from Twitter when it comes to discovery? I mean, I guarantee you one of the things they'll be asking for is the data that Twitter has on accounts they have banned from the left wing versus accounts they've banned from the right wing.
Yeah.
As somebody whose account is banned from Twitter, I can tell you my account is banned on Twitter.
Well, you're banned on Twitter?
Yes.
How long have you been banned for?
Over a year.
Over a year. So you've been banned from Twitter for over a year, but they've let back Tommy Robinson, Katie Hopkins, they've let back Donald Trump, they've let back Kanye West, they let back David Vance, they let back a whole bunch of neo-Nazis. Musk, again, I want to point this out because I don't think it is said often enough, intervened and reinstated the account of somebody who shared child pornography.
Yep.
So what did you do to get banned for over a year?
I argued with TERFs.
You bastard.
Basically, I compared what they're doing.
Kick him from the stream, Panny. He's worse than Hitler.
Yeah, that's it. Bye, Gary.
But yeah, I basically I was arguing with somebody pointing out how what they're doing is basically the same people used to do to gay people. I was going, we can't let you back on. But it's literally, I was just literally pointing out how they're the same thing. Oh, but we still won't let you on. Why? We just won't. Okay, fuck off then. And I keep asking them, can you restate my account so I can delete it? No, we won't let you do that either. So, give up.
Yeah, just fucking ridiculous. Well, you should have been a Nazi pedophile and they would have let you back on, mate. You know, that's the mistake you made. Fucking.
I mean, this thing with Twitter, though, I mean, it's having wider repercussions with regard to Musk's business. Because I mean, there was a major investor in Twitter, Ross Gerber. Now he's got about 420,000 shares in the company. It's the equivalent of about $72 million, which at least it was in the spring. Yeah. But he said that clients at his investment fund, they're pissed off with the way that Elon's acting, and pissed off were his exact words. He's he's ditching his Model Y next year. So he owns a Tesla Model Y, but he says he's going to be ditching that next year and buying a Rivian instead. He's not, even though he owns shares in Tesla, he's not going to buy their cars anymore. So
is he not?
But
own shares.
But he's also said getting a flood of messages from clients wanting out of Tesla and anything to do with Elon Musk. Many saying they're selling their cars as well. What is he doing to the Tesla brand?
Yeah, well,
Musk has been removed as a speaker from the Apex CEO Summit because of his anti-Semitism. The New York Times is still platforming him, though. He's going to be appearing at an event for them, despite the fact he's regularly attacked the New York Times.
Well, the New York Times.
The DealBook Summit, which is in 4 days' time, and he's the 29th. He's going to be appearing at that still, which I have no clue why. You would think the New York Times really should be removing him from that event, because again, he's been involved in utterly disgraceful anti-Semitism.
Yeah, but the New York Times is just another right-wing shithole fucking newspaper. So I don't know why they're still platforming him. Does he own shares in fucking New York Times?
No, Jeff Bezos owns that, doesn't he?
No, it's a Washington Post.
All right.
Yeah, he owns a Washington Post. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in a year's time as well, because if Tesla start hemorrhaging money and SpaceX, well, I don't know with SpaceX, but with Tesla, because it's a recognized brand. It's a car it's a shit car, but people buy it because marketing. If that starts losing money, then will he buy out of Twitter, or again, will his stubbornness just nothing? I don't know. It's one of those weird scenarios where it's just going to be interesting to see what happens with Tesla. And I still think he's going to end up selling Twitter. It's just not going to let that hemorrhage him any more money.
Well, I mean, how long before he gets asked to step down as the face of Tesla? Because if people are going to...
Well, no, he's the majority owner, so that's unlikely to happen.
Yeah, he owns majority shares in that, so that's unlikely to happen. Yeah, I mean, it's good for again, Tesla is it's not a good fucking car. It ranks. I did a thing a couple of weeks ago when I showed you the list of recalls, and Tesla, the top 10, 6 of their cars took up the top 10. So I wouldn't give a fuck if it took down Tesla. Obviously, jobs will be lost, but if you're making a shit product, then you deserve to lose your fucking job. You know what I mean? I know that sounds horrible. At least management does for running a piss poor production and cutting corners all the fucking time. Their
latest failure at Tesla with regard to the cars and not counting Cybertruck is the new wraps they've been putting on the cars. Apparently, they're even worse than Tesla's paint jobs.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, really badly flawed, very expensive, and very badly flawed, but they're worse than the paint jobs on the Teslas. With regard to what's been going on with Twitter, though, outside of the lawsuit, there's 2 things in particular I would really love to see happen. One, I would like to see, because Rishi Sunak, our Prime Minister, has been repeatedly saying throughout the whole Israel-Gaza situation that he is passionate about ending anti-Semitism. He's been tackling anti-Semitism. He's against anti-Semitism 100%. I'd like to know why he was laughing and joking with Elon Musk at one of the, at that AI conference. Why no?
Yeah.
Why are no journalists asking for him to maybe comment on the open anti-Semitism that Elon Musk was sharing and the fact he'd been doing it previously? You could say it was dog whistle. He'd been known to boost anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. I mean, he described, what was it? Was it George Soros? He described George Soros. He described as a Jewish Marvel supervillain because George Soros had dumped about 130,000 shares in Tesla at the time. So there was that. The other thing I would really like to see is I would like to see the U.S. government pull subsidies from Twitter. Not Twitter, but Musk's companies.
Yeah,
I would like to see them remove. Because SpaceX has had $15 billion worth of subsidies.
Yep.
Tesla has had about $3 billion. Okay. And other companies have been applying for them. Starlink, they applied for $850 million in subsidies for it was for providing broadband into areas of the United States that just aren't covered by any of the major companies. But they got turned down because the FCC said, well, the speeds are too low. They're below the standards that we expect. So again, I would like to see those subsidies just removed. Because they've got and the US government has got form for doing this. They could even potentially look at implementing an outright ban of Twitter. And again, there's been precedent. The Trump administration, he signed an executive order looking to ban TikTok because of allegations that they were selling data to the Chinese government. They were stealing sensitive data from US citizens and giving it to the Chinese. Now, in March of this year, the Biden administration started looking into them too. And what happened was we actually had some agreement across the House. There was a bipartisan investigation, and both Democrats and Republicans were pretty brutal in their interrogation of the bosses of TikTok. And they both agreed that the way TikTok has been operating is unacceptable. So I think the Biden administration right now, they've got one of two demands, which is either the owners of TikTok, which I believe is ByteDance, who are Chinese owned. Now, they either sell the app or it is just outright banned in the United States. And again, it wouldn't be impossible because Twitter is also facing a ban in Europe. Because Musk has tried to get around, I think it's called the Digital Services Act. So the Digital Services Act, which was implemented, it came into effect back in August, but it was designed to tackle Russian propaganda and misinformation. And it's applied to Google, it's applied to Facebook, it's applied to Instagram, it's applied to a whole host of major platforms. Some of them have opted in, Microsoft, Google, I believe Facebook also opted into it. Twitter initially opted in, but Musk then tried to pull out after he took over. And the EU has said, well, it doesn't matter that Musk pulled out. He still has to abide by these if he wants to operate within the EU. If he doesn't, he risks being shut down. Musk tried to get around that and say, well, I'm thinking of pulling the plug on the EU anyway.
Oh, so to save face, he's like, well, I'm going to leave the EU.
Yeah, he's going to make it look like any decision to deactivate, to remove Twitter from the EU would be his and not one taken by the European Union themselves.
Yeah, and his dumb fucking cocksucking followers will fall for it, hook, line, and
sinker.
Absolutely.
But again, we've got form for pulling other platforms when they've become dangerous, a danger to national security. Now, Twitter, it could be argued as a danger to national security because it's involving stochastic terrorism. It's allowing it blatantly on the platform. Chaya Raichik is the perfect example. She's the one I would always bring up. Whenever libs of TikTok posts about any kind of school, a school official or a facility that is involved with LGBTQ people or gender affirming care or just accepts gay people. She posts about them. Guess what happens? They wind up with bomb threats.
Yeah, bomb threats or getting physically attacked.
Yeah, and Shia Rychik is unapologetically proud of that. She posed with a copy of the USA Today that highlighted
she's a complete fucking psycho. Yeah, she's a complete psycho.
Her Twitter banner for Libs of TikTok was changed to bombs.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're still allowed to operate on the platform. So, you know, when you've got Nazi idiots like that.
But I would point out, look at what we did in this country. I mean, we and multiple European countries banned RT and Sputnik from operating.
Yeah.
Now, it took the start of the Ukraine conflict to do it, but I think it should have been done long before that. I mean, when RT started to put out propaganda, the KGB was no way responsible for the poisoning of the Skripals, for example. When they were trying to put out, they were trying to put out these wild allegations that, no, it was nothing to do with the KGB. The Salisbury Plains were a testing ground.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they're like, come on, bro. What was it? Cyanide polonium or whatever it was.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
I remember. They weren't the polonium and the tea. That was a different former KGB asset that was assassinated.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
you got me curious now. What were the Skripals poisoned with?
Yeah, Google it. That's going to bug me now.
I'm Googling it. Right, hang on. Right. First of all, I want to know who was the guy. It was Alexander Litvinenko.
He
was the one with the he was the one with the tea, the polonium and the tea.
Yeah.
Skripal poisoning. So let's see the Skripal poisoning. It was Novichok. It was the Novichok nerve agent.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, the one that was the one where they said that Salisbury was a testing ground for it or some shit, right?
Yes,
that's the one.
Yes, there was a chemical weapons facility nearby.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was Sergei and Yulia Skripal who'd been poisoned, and there was also a police officer who was taken into intensive care afterwards because he was exposed to it.
That's right. Yeah, you know, I mean, it's still like, look, you know, the poisoning that the Russians have done is nothing compared to what Zam's done after a fucking toilet session, which has apparently caused many a Taco Bell to shut down as a result because of the toxic smell that has melted eyeballs. But you know, he's still allowed to live and not sent to Guantanamo Bay. It's just outrageous. But look,
no, he's going to be sent to GB News instead. Far worse fate.
Yeah, he's going to be their token Arab, as they'll call him. Even though it's not, it would just be their token Arab. I mean, can you imagine Twitter getting shut down from the EU? That's a crazy thought. But it'll be fun if it happened. Not great, but it would still be funny if it happened.
I mean, because there are certain countries where Nazi stuff is illegal. Like, for example, Germany, big one. I think Austria.
You can't even protest for Palestinians in Germany, and they have a huge Muslim population, and they were getting beaten up like it was the fucking brown shirts coming out, stomping against protests. So, you know, Germany's not a fucking bastion for anything, as far as I'm concerned. Fuck Germany anyway, fucking assholes. Especially Deutsche Bank, fucking pieces of shit.
Well, no, I'm not going to say fuck Germany. In fact, I will give a quick shout out.
Germans, I love the Germans. But fuck Germany.
I am going to give a quick shout out to somebody in Germany, Felida the Geek, Tanya Helton. She is actually standing in elections in Germany for the European Parliament. She's going to be she's number 13 on the list of candidates for the party Die Linke.
Nice. Well, good for her.
Felida, then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So yeah, good luck from all of us here at NerdTube to Felita the Geek.
Yeah, fucking hope you smash it. But I don't have her on my friends list. I used to, but the things got ugly with her and Vocta and all of that. So I was just like, okay, I unfriended her out of that. But that was a long time ago. Good luck to her. Hope she wins. Hope she
kick some
smashes
Nazi ass.
Kick some Nazi ass.
Well, again, the main her party is effectively the main opposition to the AFD.
Okay, good.
So, again, good luck to them. But with regard to what we were initially discussing, again, I would be quite happy to see Twitter shut down in the EU. They've got a lot of people just abandoning the platform now altogether, and some major names have left the site purely because of what Musk has been posting. Now, one of the people that they may lose in the near future is President Biden.
No.
Because Joe Biden and the First Lady and a few others high up in his administration have officially opened up accounts on Threads.
Oh my God! Oh yeah, great! Give all the fucking power to Zuckerberg. That's the fucking great outcome. There, we're gonna end up with just Google and fucking Meta as the sole proprietors.
I'm not on Threads. I don't use it. I use Mastodon myself.
I'm on Threads and it's fucking.
I don't know how to get on
UI is fucking awful.
Struggle.
Yeah, Threads UI, your user interface is totally dog shit. Sorry. It's totally
that's just the given of everything with Meta. Their UIs are always shit.
But again, I think it's going to be a case of Twitter is going to drive more people over to there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Threads.
Sure.
I'm glad I'm on there.
In fact, let me check, because the last I checked, they had 100 million users on Threads.
My God.
Of course, you automatically sign up with it with your existing account, but 137 million users.
Okay, so it's been steady growth.
Yeah, Twitter user. Let me see.
But they'll be counting inactive accounts as well in their user database. Because there's plenty of people who just abandoned their account.
It's 360 million, but it's not. It's way less than that. I mean, fucking most of Twitter is bots anyway. Every time I look at a like on my Twitter account, it's just from some, bot selling an OnlyFans account. Or some stupid shit like that.
The other two things with regard to the whole controversy with Twitter, I mean, there's people saying, well, why doesn't Linda Yaccarino resign in protest? Well, Linda Yaccarino is not going to quit. She's getting paid $6 million a year in her position as the CEO of Twitter.
I wouldn't fucking quit at that kind of money.
Yeah, who in their right mind is going to leave a job at $6 million per year when all you have to do is occasionally sniff Elon's throne?
Yeah.
And I mean, the statement, her statements have been hilariously funny in some regards. I want to try and find them. So the first statement that she made with regard to the Media Matters article. Let me find it. So when Media Matters first put up their article with regard, and that caused IBM to pull out. Where the fuck is this at? It'd be great if I was prepared.
Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, here we go. So she said she posted to Twitter. Twitter has been extremely clear about our efforts to combat anti-Semitism and discrimination. There's absolutely no place for it anywhere in the world. Now, she's partly correct. I mean, I think Twitter has been absolutely clear, as in it's clear they aren't doing fuck all.
Yeah.
They have got absolutely no policy for tackling anti-Semitism. Although Musk is now claiming he has one now, he's removing any account that posts from the river to the sea. Which
is not anti-Semitic in the least.
Well, it's anti-Semitic if there's two ways it can be taken. If it's being said by somebody who is a blatant anti-Semite, from the river to the sea, then yeah, they probably are calling for the execution of the Jews. If it's being used by somebody, say again, like the Labour MP Andy MacDonald, in the context of from the river to the sea, I want Palestinians to live Israelis and Palestinians to live side by side in peace, then yes, you can take it, as a call to freedom for the Palestinians. It's not a call for genocide. Yacarino's made a couple of other statements since then. I mean, she could have. If she was to walk from Twitter, I would find that hysterically funny, and I would hope her last act is to ban Elon Musk's account. Again, I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find the next statement from Yacarino. This was the other one that she posted. This was, I think, the day before Musk filed the lawsuit. And she said, "If you know me, you know I'm committed to truth and fairness. Here's the truth. Not a single authentic user on Twitter saw IBM, Comcast, or Oracle's ads next to the content in Media Matters article. Only 2 users saw Apple's ad next to the content, at least one of which was Media Matters. Data wins over manipulation or allegations. Don't be manipulated. Stand with Twitter." Now, again, this was pretty much acknowledging that, yes, adverts were appearing next to pro-Nazi content, but not a lot of people saw it. I don't trust Twitter when it comes to data, whatever the data is, because Musk is a proven habitual liar.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I'm going to bring the show to a close because I'm just very, very tired. But, let's see what happens with Twitter and with Musk. It's at the moment it's just a stressful shithole to be into. It's like entering a war field. But I pop in just to get the real updates on what's happening with Israel and Palestine, and that's it. I just pop in, pop out, and and occasionally check to see if there's any wrestling news, and that's it. That's all I use it for. I don't use it for. I can't spend more than 10 minutes on the platform because it's unbearable. So hopefully Musk sells it to somebody else and return some fucking dignity to the platform. And on that note, though,
I'll do a quick rundown of the stories we didn't cover tonight. So some stories we didn't cover tonight, which so Russell Brand has been formally questioned by the Metropolitan Police with regard to sexual assault allegations, because we covered that story a few years back. Child groomer Colleen Ballinger has returned to YouTube. Lad Baby have announced that they will not be releasing a single for the Christmas #1 for a 6th year. There is a fucking God.
Yeah, I will stay on a bit more because I've never heard a Lad Baby song. I refuse to, and I'm not missing much. All of that. Did you see the Christmas #1 that I posted in the Facebook group?
I didn't know.
That's going to be the Christmas #1. You're going to love it, mate. It's a cat. But at least the proceed, the money raised from that is going to, was it food banks in Stevenage and the RSPCA? So at least it's going to worthy cause.
Well, I was hoping that for Christmas #1 we could either get Weird Al Yankovic's The Night Santa Went Crazy, or just that. Although it's not a Christmassy song, anything by the Northern Boys.
Okay.
Anything by the Northern Boys. Okay. Yeah.
If you've never listened to the Northern Boys, check them out. Pensioners Rapping.
I will. I have. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're fucking awesome. Gaz, did you want to say something?
No, I was just to say that, we could finally make Fairy Tale of New York the Christmas #1 it should always have been. That maybe help that.
It's an overrated song.
Yeah.
Better than Flaming. It's always I'm on my mind by Flaming the Pet Shop Boys.
Apparently, there's like hang on here, but they finally answered my question. Let me go back because AC/DC is also in the running to go to Christmas #1.
Well, please tell me it's Mistress for Christmas.
No, it's Thunderstruck.
Oh,
because I asked them which AC/DC song, and they go Thunderstruck. There used to be a really good Eastern European lady belly dancer that danced to Thunderstruck on YouTube, got taken down a few years ago. Oh, I don't fucking. What's that got to do with what I asked?
Yeah,
apparently there's a fan group that did it years ago and got Highway to Hell to #4, and they took. Oh, I see. So it's just a group that's.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I
would love for a Mistress for Christmas by AC/DC to get #1. That'd be awesome.
We'll find this fan group and see if we can. Oh fuck! Is my camera gone blurry?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Just a couple more quick stories we didn't get a chance to delve into. It is protected right. It's a protected right to call Ian Duncan Smith Tory scum. He lost in the appeal court over that one, which I think is being far too lenient. Calling him scum is a disservice to actual scum.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry, but Ian Duncan Smith is top of my hit list for being tried at The Hague for crimes against humanity. He's the reason. He put me through a lot of hell with his policies. I hate him with a fucking passion. And if I've always said, if I ever became a PM, I don't give a shit. Even if it's 10, 20 years from now, I will go after him with prejudice. And any fucking cunt in the DWP that worked under him and pushed his policies, I will go after them with great prejudice to make sure they never see the fucking light of day. Because they caused the death of thousands of disabled people. Thousands of them. They sent me into a mental spiral because of their policies.
Right.
Yes.
So there's something recently that apparently I think it's doing the rounds. I'm sure this was something that I don't know who said it, that they're making disabled people go to work again, but this time they have to work from home. So if you're on a call center or something like that, they have to work that. Now I think that is the really horrible, because again, a lot of disabilities come. It's not just that you get one. A lot of times you get them in a row. So as somebody with a disability, I can tell you, I'm okay that I can work. Some people with disabilities can't, because to function day to day at a constant level isn't really in their wheelhouse. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the latest attacks on the poor, on the disabled and the sick by the Tories. So under Ian Duncan Smith, we had the policy of sanctions. We had the Atos Fit for Work assessments, where if people dropped, unwell of things like, heart attacks or seizures, you were listed as having failed to complete the assessment and were therefore sanctioned.
Yep.
So this is why, again, I think calling him scum is too lenient.
It's too lenient. Barbaric, murdering piece of shit is more apt. So when obviously the Tories came in, I worked at day center. Adults with autism, severe learning difficulties. They some of them, like the majority of them, were non-verbal, all this kind of stuff. So, and they had a lot of like different, they had behavioral difficulties, or they had just a lot of challenges. And every single one of them was made to go to the job center for an assessment. We're talking about people that do not do well in crowds. They can lash out. They can have episodes. They can become extremely distressed. And they were made to go to be assessed by a professional. And one of the guys who was verbal, they thought, yeah, this guy can work. Just because he's verbal, he can't read or write. He doesn't understand human behaviors or anything like that. Like, this was the level of scumbags we were dealing with here, the level of ignorance. Just this whole thing to just cut benefits down, and they target disabled because they're the easiest fucking targets to take down, just so they can give more tax cuts to their fucking mates. And they're doing the same thing now. The top 20% are going to benefit from these tax cuts that are coming in. Cutting the national insurance doesn't fucking help the NHS at all. And it's just to give your mates more fucking. That's all they've done every time. It's just to benefit the rich. And they attack the disabled and the people on benefits. And the majority of people on benefits now are working. They work 9 to 5.
Yep.
Yeah, and the opposition government are not going to give a shit. They're just like, oh, you're not extreme enough.
Well, I mean, we had the autumn statement, and Rachel Reeves is basically, she condemned it, but she said she's not going to reverse any of it.
Mate, she was fingering herself into oblivion when they read that. She's like, oh, the sadism, I love it. She's a sadistic arsehole. Like, she loves all this shit. Yeah, like you said, they're not going to do anything to reverse it. They're not going to reverse anything. Well, Labour are in for a rude fucking awakening if all the by-elections and the council elections are anything to go by. So bring it on. I'll be happy for them to come in government because they're going to see how pissed off people really are. They just want the Tories in now, and then after that, it's all guns fucking blazing for independence.
Yep. So again, the last 3 stories just very quickly that we didn't get to cover. Yeah, Rwanda is now magically safe because the Tories have said so.
Yeah,
they're going to decree that it's safe in order to get around the ruling that they can't deport people there because, again, it's been recognized as an unsafe country because they shoot dead refugees. So there was that. The Argentinians have elected an absolute lunatic who wants to legalize the sale of human organs and firearm sales.
And also,
I love it.
Also to relitigate the famous Falklands War.
I love
it.
Bring it on.
He's a support. Yeah, he go down great in Argentina because he's a big admirer of Margaret Thatcher.
Oh, well, there you go. Of course, he's a fucking libertarian neoliberal fuckwit. And,
I mean, he's also apparently a tantric sex guru who only comes once every 3 months.
Okay, then that explains the hair.
Teaching of Islam. Sorry.
Now, Argentina as a country, it's just a country that frustrates me to no end. Like, they're just always in a constant state of being an American puppet, and so this is their magnum opus of electing a fucking libertarian, and I just find it hilarious. To be fair, I'm not.
Yeah, they're going to find out what happened to us.
Sorry.
But they're going to find out basically what happened to us when Liz Truss and Kwasi Kwarteng were in charge.
Exactly. They were the prime example. Oh, they were the prime example of a libertarian government with their fucking policies. They destroyed the economy, and Argentinians aim for a rude awakening, and they say good, they fucking deserve it because they frustrate me, that country.
Just before we go on to the last story, though, that we didn't get to cover, just very, very quickly, you know how Liz Truss was at the Cenotaph for Memorial Day?
Yeah.
It was worked out if she lives to be 95 and attends every year as a former Prime Minister, she will have spent more days at the Cenotaph than she will have in Downing Street.
Fucking joke of a woman, and still trying to make a comeback. Like that's
absolutely
what no shame.
But the final story we didn't get to cover, again, it's the surge of the far right, and we would like to say on behalf of everybody at NerdTube, rest in peace, Pat Condell, who officially wanked himself to death over the fact that Anders Breivik, not Anders Breivik, Geert Wilders, Anders Breivik is a big fan of Condell, but Geert Wilders has finally managed to win an election in the Netherlands. He's not yet been able to form a government, but he is his party were the big winners at the Dutch elections. And Pat Condell has previously said that he thinks that Geert Wilders is a hero. The guy who said that he wants to ban the Quran, He wants to ban mosques being built in the Netherlands. He wants to ban all immigration. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Yeah, good luck with that.
Actually,
he won't last the term.
Just to bring up I think a member of my family was mentioning the fact that somebody on a news channel was bringing up that the fact that Wilders was elected was a problem with the proportional representation voting method. And I pointed out that no, proportional representation makes it a fairer voting system.
Do the Dutch have proportional representation?
Yes,
I believe they do. Yes, but again, Wilders right. There's the Dutch parliamentary system. They have 150 seats. Wilders' party, I believe, is at 37.
Yeah,
it's something like 35 or 37 seats. They are the biggest party. Now, a lot of the major parties have said they will not work with them. The main party that formed the government last time has said they won't serve in Wilders' cabinet. They will, however, not oppose him if he wants to form a minority government. But I think if he has to form a minority government, then he's going to be reined in on a lot of his more extreme rhetoric.
Yeah,
Condell is not going to get the Islamophobic utopia that he wants the Netherlands to be.
Yeah, that's right. I hope that's what happens, because then he won't last a term, because he would have failed to deliver on his policies. Very easy to use attack campaigns against him on that. Say, hey, look, he said this, and this. He's failed to do it. More people are coming in, more this, that, or whatever it is. And again, the rise of the far right. It's all following the same fucking pattern. The predictable pattern during cost of living and just chaos around the world, and it's always the rise of the far right. And again, you've always got to understand there's a lot of American money flooding into Europe, funding a lot of this shit as well. And that's why, oh God, what was his name? Fucking the white supremacist guy who Steve Bannon.
Steve Bannon,
Yeah, he got exposed for with his groups flooding money into the UK to kind of fund the far right parties and even the Tories and all this kind of shit during the 2019 election.
He was advising Farage at one point, wasn't he?
Yes,
he was. Yeah.
What was it? Was it Breitbart? He was funding a lot of what?
Yeah, Bannon was involved in Breitbart, but he was also a political strategist for a variety of far right parties around Europe. I believe he's worked with the AfD. I think he was also giving advice to Farage. I think he's been linked to Marine Le Pen as well.
Yep. Yeah, and that's why you're seeing a rise, because they've got fucking money coming in from the States, and of course, money goes a long way in politics, and that's why you're seeing a rise in it. But they don't last. They get yeeted out. Like in Spain, the left-wing government won, and the right-wingers were fucking crying and protesting and calling it undemocratic. It's like, well, they won, but they won by a margin. They still had to kind of form a coalition with the separatists, the Catalonian separatists, whose leader was ousted. He exiled. He left. I think he was living in Switzerland or whatever. And the left-wing party have managed to strike a deal, and he's able to come back. Obviously, the deal is not that they're going to have, they're not going to get their independence, obviously, because that renders both the left-wing government and the separatists useless, but they have a good bargaining tool for other policies that they might want to push towards. But the right-wingers are just sour that they didn't get to the guy first to strike a deal and form a government. So, it's all on the fucking, it's always like Greece, again, what's happened in Greece with the New Democrats. They're a right-wing party, and they've just clamped down on a lot of freedoms. A lot of American money came in to resurge PASOK, which were center-left, but they're about as center-left as I am Slimmer of the Year. Yeah, exactly. And they were refunded so they could split the left-wing party of Syriza, so they could split the voters there. I kept trying to tell that to Greeks. They didn't believe me. They still blamed Syriza for a lot of things that they didn't do. And it was effective. So the New Democrats were able to win, because if PASOK never come up, Syriza would have won again and go from there. But because of PASOK, they split that. And now Syriza has got infiltrated, and they put in a fucking guy that used to work on Wall Street. He's now the leader there, and he's dissolving like elements of the party and all this kind of shit. And this is just money coming in from America to do all this kind of shit, to dissolve, to just eliminate any threat. Like, the left is such a threat to the establishment that they will do anything and everything, no matter which country, to get rid of it. If it's in the Middle East, they'll do it. If it's in fucking Eastern Europe, they'll fucking do it, you know.
But I mean, surely there's going to be like a backlash, and we're going to get a red wall eventually. Because I mean, because all it's going to take
in the UK, in the UK, it's inevitable. Like, it is inevitable. Despite everything, it's inevitable. The reason being is people are finally realizing that I'll just run as an independent. You know, I'm former Labour. You know what the Labour Party is doing. Tories are going to get fucking wiped out. You know, there's a threat of the Reform Party taking over the Tory, becoming the like bigger party than the Tories. Right. But you know, I think with the UK, yeah, they're a bit more wise to it than other countries are, for sure.
Oh, shout out to, by the way, the producers of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. They finally fulfilled one of my all-time dreams. They had Nigel Farage eating a dick.
All right. Is there pictures of it?
I don't know. It was one of the Bush Tucker challenges, but yeah, Farage has been put through a few of those. And what's even better is the fact that ITV paid him £1.5 million to go into the jungle, and they lost 2 million viewers.
Yeah, that's lovely. That's the icing on the cake. That's what you get for putting in the man that is single-handedly responsible for destroying this fucking country, and again, failing upwards. Gets 1.5 million. Hopefully destroys the show in the process, a show that I fucking despise with every fiber of my being.
Here's a question I've got. Is it possible that he could be the next leader of the Tory party?
No.
Because a lot of them was, because a lot of Tories, apparently a lot of people said that a lot of the Tory elites were impressed by him when he was there a couple of weeks.
He's not even an MP.
No, and he's not even a current member of the Tory party. So again, he couldn't be the leader if he's not a member of the party. Now, at some point, maybe he will join the Conservatives. I don't know. It's very possible that in the future he's more likely to be sworn in as a Tory peer into the House of Lords. I think at some point there will be a Tory Prime Minister or Tory leader who will put him forward for a peerage. But when it comes to the next leader of the Conservative Party, it's probably not even going to be Braverman. I think your frontrunners are... I think the three frontrunners for the leadership are Kemi Badenoch, Penny Mordaunt, and James Cleverly.
I think it's going to be Mordaunt out of the three.
I know the bookmaker's favourite is Badenoch.
Really? Her?
Yeah.
Oh, she's an insufferable fuckwit. Deserves a slap. Well, you know, at that point in time, hopefully they just become a fucking relic and die off. We'll see what happens. Okay, I really must go now because I'm flagging. But thank you to everyone that joined us in the comments. Thank you, Gaz and Shredder. And hopefully I might be doing a Doctor Who stream tomorrow or Sunday as it returns. So, yeah, we'll see with that. And good night, everybody.